Real show, here we go. Real show, here we go. You know that it's gotta be that time, so this is what we chant. What keeps on getting them all amped in advance? Come on. You and I rocking out with Iron Man, F.E. You get the general's point of view on top of Roger's rants. We're never tapping out, we're putting the most minutes in. You already know what that's about, you know that winners win. Crush whatever's on task, check the podcast. It's the Champ and The Tramp, let the bomb blast.
We're going. Okay. Boom. Champ and The Tramp, episode 13. Lucky number 13. We got my man, Chris Liguori.
What's going on?
Chris, Chris is my guy. He's been in every corner of, or been the corner for every one of my fights. Pretty much my first MMA coach, first real MMA coach. When I started training when I was 23, I met Chris, and we've been super tight ever since. So we brought him in, just kind of talk about the fights and just kick it.
True. Thanks for having me. Awesome.
I know Chris a little bit from the barn back in the days. I feel like every story that I know anybody in the MMA world goes back to the barn.
Yeah.
The barn, the infamous barn. That hot. Well,
Frankie,
we never
Frankie Perez, Liguori.
Yeah.
The barn was like not only was it the wrestling gym, it was kind of like our transition before we went to Ricardo's.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? We kind of training on our own.
Yeah, we did. We
kind of
meeting there.
Fought some big fights, just kind of training out of the barn, texting people, say, hey, meet there at a certain time. You know? For sure.
I had no idea who you were, and I'd obviously get stuck with you once in a while rolling on the mats, and you would fucking tap me so easy. You think like I'm a big guy, you know what I mean? Like, that's that mentality. Like I'll over. Technique always wins.
Yeah, if you don't know, it's not.
I feel like too back then you were so much more knowledgeable than myself as far as the grappling world, grappling and striking went. Mm-hmm. Like you were the go-to guy.
And you were with the wrestling, and that's why I was like, just grab this guy. I need to learn how to wrestle.
Match made in heaven.
Another interesting fact. Excuse my voice on this podcast. My kids got me sick, but another.
You got coronavirus.
I got the corona. We're going to talk about that, but another interesting fact about Chris is he's actually the one that suggested this whole podcast idea to Frankie. The infamous story goes, Frankie passed me on the road and called me. He was like, yo, you ever think about doing a podcast? It was Liguori that told him to do that. And I was like, no, I never thought about it. And then like 6 months went by because Frankie's like, fuck you. What do you mean? I didn't know you met with you.
Yeah.
You met by me. So anyway, but it was we're sitting down here basically because Chris suggested this idea. So thanks, Chris.
Well, funny story about that. We were talking the one day, and we were talking about a podcast, and he talked about how he had spoke to you about it, and he's like, yeah, I kind of mentioned it, and he didn't really.
He blew me off, that fucking dickhead.
You should have been a little more thorough.
So if you know Frankie, he's not one to follow up on much stuff, so I thought about it, I said, but that's fucking perfect. So I'm sitting home, and I'm thinking, so I text him, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to hit Roger with a DM, and I'm going to act like we never spoke. And I said, and I'm going to say, hey, I just thinking. That's how I said it to you. So like, hey, man, it's some weirdest.
We had it planned.
So I sent him the message. I'm going to send him this. He's like, all right. I said, all right, see what happens. And then there you go.
The rest is history.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, we're down here setting up a podcast room.
Yeah,
sure. And he helped set up the room, too. He's a little
accent wall. And then
Chris is like jack of all trades.
Yeah. That's what being a fighter did to me, right?
Yeah. Painter, carpenter.
Yeah, he learned a lot.
Now he's a tradesman. You're a conductor.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot that. That's right.
Run many trains.
Yeah.
Nah.
Wife's going to be real out there. That comment.
Never going there again. I like this picture up here, though. You look like that's your episode of Oz, right?
Yeah,
you look like you're in the friggin' yard. You're in the yard.
Right there, it's the old school thin goatee style that I thought was cool about 10 years ago.
This came along nice, though.
That was Pedro, right? Still, probably.
Pedro still cutting me, man. Still.
No, I'm saying back then, though.
Oh, that was still him, man. That's all his work right there. Your work too. He cut you back then.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
He's the only guy that pretty much cut my hair.
What's the deal with the Mickey Mouse gloves, bro?
You know what the deal is. You know what the deal is with the Mickey Mouse gloves.
So you serving lunch with those? Like
I'm
coronavirus.
Things with white gloves.
Very paranoid.
Very paranoid. No, let him know. We made the wager last week about 248. Which is kind of bullshit, to be honest with you. I just picked the people you didn't pick.
Right? Not true.
Yes, I listened to it today.
You picked the first pick.
No, you picked the first pick.
You picked Darush.
No. You picked Adesanya. Okay. You picked Israel. Is it Adesanya? I picked Darush, and then you picked Wei. And now Zhang. Now listen. Those fights definitely could have went either way. Both.
I agree. They were
Okay,
both
now the
epic.
wager was he gets to
Epic.
choose what I wear, and he actually wants me to wear white gloves the whole time.
So, should we cue some music?
No,
real quick?
no,
Should we
all
cue
right.
some
I'm
music?
listening. No. Let me go. Let me go. I'm a man of my word. A bet's a bet.
You think
This
I'm gonna
is
let him
definitely-
down with just white
listen?
gloves?
But listen, like I made this bet thinking Roger wouldn't go this far, but he went this far. So now paybacks are gonna be bad. I promise. I promise.
Wait a minute. You're talking about me. You didn't think I was gonna go
No,
far.
I didn't know, man. Listen, this is pretty
You're
bad.
lucky you're
All
not
right.
wearing nipple tassels right now.
And listen, Roger just wanted to get me in this outfit. That's what I'm
Roger
starting to
forgot
figure
to
out.
get an outfit.
He just wanted to
had
get.
that in his trunk.
He's
I'm gonna start sneezing hysterically. Achoo! Achoo!
all right. Here goes.
All
Want some
right.
music?
He
Dum,
manned up.
dum,
He
dum,
manned
dum.
up. He
We
did
need-
not want to do this, but he manned up.
We need a boombox. Some music.
Where's the hat, bro? Where's the hat?
It's gotta come out.
Is the hat here?
I got the hat.
All right.
I love it. I love every minute of it.
Wait till you see the shorts, guys. Who wears short shorts? We wear short shorts.
Yo, Roger, I'm telling you.
The little sailor boy. There we go.
Little sailor boy who could.
I love it. I love it.
Folks, the podcast hasn't been going great. Frankie's looking to extend his career a little bit. He can come dance at your next party.
We'll show up.
Just hit us in the email. champandthetramp.com.
He's like,
I mean, I got my package.
Frankie can come by and be your first mate if you want.
Your first mate.
All right, I'll give him props. He did it without really much fuss at all when I got here.
Listen.
I was texting him because I texted Renee, his wife, and him a variety of outfits to wear. I was shopping on Amazon immediately when I woke up and I saw. You know the funny part about this guy? He was out there for the fights. Darush, who fought before the two main cards, won, and he immediately texted me. Darush won. So I'm like laying in bed with my kids, and I'm like, damn it, he's got one in the bank. Nothing. Dead silence the rest of the night. So I wake up in the morning and I'm like checking the internet for the fights, and I'm like, I got one in the bank. I got, Zhang won. And I was like, who won the main card? And I saw Israel won and I was like, dude. So then I started texting him, like, what are you going to wear, bro? And I start, texting him outfits and shit off Amazon, like the gayest shit you can possibly imagine. No response. Totally ghosted me, didn't respond to anything. I'm texting Renee, like, what will he wear and what won't he wear? She's like, I don't think he's going to wear any of it. So he manned up.
I
give him
did.
props.
Hey, listen, a bet's a bet.
Bet is a
I'm down with
bet.
it.
Bet is a bet.
Speaking of bets, you owe me 100 push-ups.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah,
Liguori.
yeah.
Indeed.
We could do it a different time.
Indeed.
Don't worry.
Yeah, dude, we do.
We don't really have the room.
That
Yeah.
actually, that's the bet. Not push-ups, 100 push-ups. It's anytime push-ups.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're gonna
stop.
do.
No.
Yes.
This is This
What?
is Frankie for as long as I know. First of all, Frankie, you won. He didn't lose. He never loses. You might have won this bet here, but he didn't lose, even though he's sitting here in a sailor outfit. So,
No,
so it's
listen.
anytime. So you can just text me 2 in the morning, drop it.
No. Well, you might be talking to someone. You might be at dinner, and I'm like, yo, 10 push-ups. You got to give me 10 push-ups.
Okay.
So that's
up
pretty
to
good.
so up to 100.
Up to
Yeah,
100.
but I get to give you them whenever I want.
Right.
Anytime
Right. How
push-ups.
many you want?
So
Right.
much better than that outfit.
Do you think?
Yes.
Yeah. What if I don't know?
What?
Anytime push-ups. What would be like a?
When
pretty
am I
awkward
never in like
situation?
push-up giving
You are.
outfit? I
You
just
do.
is all, you know what I mean? I'm
Except
like,
when you're wearing a sailor outfit.
I wouldn't- you might split the
Frankie.
shorts.
Say sigh, name, cuff. Sigh, name, cuff. Say it.
No.
All right.
I'm not stupid. You're listen.
Danielle got me with this shit. Look at this.
So, what you do it backwards?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not stupid. Come on. I'm not gonna open my mouth and I'll show my teeth.
That was good. That was good.
That was a good one.
Nice. Frankie,
Signing
Frankie.
cuff. Fuck something. Fuck me something. Right?
Hit play.
I'm gonna put it to the speaker. One more time. I know it.
Got me good with that one.
I know it.
That's funny.
So the fights. Speaking of the fights,
Yes. Great epic fights. Could have gone, like you said, really could have gone either
let's
way.
start. All right, Benny. I'm actually buddies with Benny,
Okay.
and that's why I had to pick him.
Yeah, sure.
I thought he was gonna win anyway, but yeah, man, he's tough, dude. He's tough.
super
I think
tough.
he's got a really good record. He's beat a lot of good guys, and it was good to see him get that KO, man. That was a hell of a fight. That 2-minute span.
Yeah,
He was
100%,
rocked. Boom,
100%.
came back, put him away. Dude, plus, all right, this is what I have a question for Chris. All right, he had his back pretty much 4 minutes of the first round, right?
Right.
Body triangle, going for chokes. Pretty much that's fight. That's a finishing,
Oh, 100%.
right? Fight finishing spot for 4 minutes. That's about as dominant as you can get. That's almost like being in mount punching the shit out of somebody.
Oh, yeah, 1000%.
right?
Yeah.
But is that a 10-8 round? Are they going to call that a 10-8 round?
I mean,
Because if it was
kinda
if
should,
it was
especially if it's
it should,
under,
right?
under the chin, you're just barely getting out. I mean, that,
Yeah,
that's
3,
the
4
equivalent
times
of being
he was
rocked.
under
I
there.
mean, and especially he's a specialist, right?
Is there a way to
that's
see
his-
the card, even though it never made it to the end? I mean, is there a way you can?
Afterwards, yeah, they'll show you
You
the
can,
cards.
okay.
Yeah.
what the
Like, after the fight.
to see the scorecard? Yeah, afterwards. But now they're talking about doing open scoring. They just did it in Invicta. I don't know. I don't think it's because they brought this up at the press conference that we have for Dominance MMA out there, and supposedly Max Holloway is advocating for it. He thinks it's a good idea.
Right.
But look, you say you're up by 2 rounds, they're gonna be like, yeah, I'm not. I'll just take off this round. I know I had this fight won.
If you definitely
right?
know.
If you definitely know, or
That's the only
or
argument
you
against it,
you
right?
won a round, dude. Fighters we're all a little fucked up. We're all a little nuts. You
Right.
know you won a round, and you see the scorecard. You can be like, yo, what the you're gonna fucking say, like, Judge, what the fuck are you looking at? You kidding me? And it's not going to make you fight to your potential. I think,
Maybe
that
if
next
they
round.
had open scoring where the competitors couldn't see it, but the fans could, the people at home. So you really,
Yeah.
what are you open scoring for? You open
Yeah,
scoring
but
to
they-
hold,
yeah,
the,
yeah,
hold
but
the
what-
judges accountable, right?
No.
So that's
Well,
really
no.
why
I think
doing
they're
it,
saying.
right?
Well, I think they're saying just to let the fighter know what position they're in. That's the whole reason of open scoring. I
I
imagine.
think it's more because the judges is so
be
shoddy.
really hard to you're saying show the viewers at home, I guess, on pay per view or whatever.
Kind of
It could
like
never-
that. Even like you remember who was that? Larry Mergen used to give like his official scorecard. So it kind of give. I don't know. I feel like if you made some of these judges just more accountable. I mean, there was like you saw Rogan and these guys saying like he's not even watching the fight. There was times where he's not even watching the fight. Well, maybe if you were going to be put on blast in front of millions of people, your scorecard
but,
right
no,
away.
dude, they're on put on blast. It doesn't matter.
Afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards. If during doesn't matter, it's not going to change anything they do.
I don't know.
Where do most of these judges come from?
Boxing backgrounds. That's the problem.
Right.
Not
Or
all
like
of them
traditional
do.
martial
but,
arts.
yeah,
they don't,
right.
They don't know.
Bro,
the
the one,
brand
this
name.
one. I don't
I
want
mean-
to say any names, but this one lady, she's. I felt like screwed me a couple times,
Right.
and you see her watching, and she's like, it's like she doesn't know what she's looking at.
No,
you know what I mean?
If you're not a
It's
martial
crazy.
artist, even you could take as many courses and all the other stuff, and which is very good that they have that now. But you have to be a martial artist. You have to practice martial arts. You have to
Why don't
have
they
been in
incorporate
there
that?
and felt these things. You know what I mean?
Well, you're seeing past fighters get involved, and
Right.
I think that's a big step in the right direction.
It's tough when you have like weekenders
Yeah.
making decisions for people that their life depends on.
Correct, yeah.
What you're looking at. That's they don't get
Well,
paid enough to do it. They don't.
But why do you think you're not seeing like either retired athletes or?
You are just not as much. I mean, again,
Yeah.
the sport's kind of new, so those
Right,
athletes that are retired, are still fighting right
For
now.
sure,
You know what I
for
mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's a lot.
R-
Like,
Ricardo was
you
doing
know.
it for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, he was.
For UFC or for?
No, for New Jersey. You
For
don't
New
do it for.
Jersey. Everything
Yeah,
would
if
come to New
he did a
Jersey.
UFC one though.
Yeah, because you probably have to be licensed in the state.
Yeah, it's all through the commission.
Gotcha.
It's tough. You think about it like a guy like Big Dan. He travels with the UFC a lot, so he travels as much as fighters do, way more than fighters do, because he's every other weekend he's somewhere. You know what I mean? That's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. Probably.
Dan Mergliotta.
Yeah, Big
yeah.
Dan.
He's
Big Dan.
he
good
does a
dude.
lot of them. He's got a regular job plus his family plus he does all that travel.
Dude,
Plus-
Oh, he has a regular job on top of that.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
yeah.
works.
Dude, they don't
water
make very.
company or
They don't
something
make
like
very
that.
much.
No shit.
Did they make like $1,500 or something like that to ref a fight?
Really? No shit. Wow.
I mean, I guess that's not
Or
bad.
maybe more. Maybe more.
No, I think about that. I don't know. Around that, I imagine. I don't
You
think
think
it's
about-
not huge money.
No,
but you
it's
definitely
not.
need another job to.
Is there
Yes.
tiers or is it one like John McCarthy?
No, John McCarthy doesn't actually anymore because he does,
I know
he
he's a
does a
commentator,
Bellator,
but I'm
yeah,
saying
but,
he was like the elite king.
yeah, he was.
Is
Is
he
there tiers?
Is he tier different than
No,
other guys?
I mean it's.
I wonder. You know.
No.
I wonder if the UFC would throw. I mean, he
You're
doesn't.
saying,
get
do they get
paid.
more money? You mean?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
is he
I don't think
tier-
so,
tier
no. I think
differently
you're getting
for
paid
his,
because-
for his expertise, I guess.
I mean,
I'm sure.
that's just what people think, yeah.
Right.
But I do. I think it's just experience. Who are the most experienced? Who are the best? I mean, Big Dan, John McCarthy, Mark Goddard. You know, they're all really good.
But the pay
Herb
scale-
Dean. I don't know. That I don't know.
Yeah, I would assume that it goes up.
What
'Cause
happened?
Like, you know.
What happened to the chick, the girl that used to? I don't see her anymore. She hasn't been on the UFC, and I can't tell you when.
Yeah, the one that wasn't.
The Comic-Con chick. She dressed it up for all the Comic-Cons.
Yeah.
Wait,
Right. I haven't seen her.
blonde hair, long braid.
Yeah, I got it. I got.
She's not a very attractive.
No.
Yeah, she's good though. She's good. She's good ref.
What?
I thought she was good.
Really?
Hell no.
She wasn't
I
that
don't think
bad.
she was a great
You're
No, you
crazy.
don't know?
You wouldn't.
Crazy.
She talked a little shit about him one time at a fight.
Well,
She's like-
I felt like she'd give
She
people a
came
chance.
up to me and Jenny. We were sitting in the front row, and she says, "How do you feel about your boy losing tonight?" And I didn't even believe I heard her.
Shut up.
I
Did she
swear
really?
to God. I
Oh,
swear to God.
All right, we're hating her. Then. I didn't know all that.
Yeah, and I was like,
Trying to be-
but she kind of did it walking away, and I kind of did one of those, because I never thought that would have come out of her mouth. I was like,
Should grab her by
And
the
then
neck.
you're gonna have that lady ref your fight. That's how you feel. I didn't know that.
Should have grabbed her by that horse mane on her head.
Wait, what was it though? She
I
probably
forget
gave
what
you the
fight
look,
it
and
was,
you were
too.
just like, Shh.
What?
That's what it was. She probably gave you the look one time, and you were just you probably iced her.
She didn't give me no look.
I've been to so many of your fights, I forget what fight that was, but I think it was Aldo.
There's very few people that don't like Frankie.
No,
we
no.
walk into these places, to go sign the posters and do all this stuff. It's Frankie. Frankie wants to take a picture. I mean, come
Bro,
on.
There's
Talking
one
to
person.
Steve-
I know one person. That I know. She's upstairs.
Well, there you go. All right.
After she sees you walk up those stairs tonight, I don't know if I'll blame her.
yeah.
What an epic picture, though, bro. That picture you posted. Of,
Yeah, oh,
what
I
a
was-
picture
yeah.
of killers, bro.
Yeah.
You, Gaethje, Nagomedov. Who else
Yeah.
was in that picture?
Usman.
Usman.
Cejudo.
Yeah. So, Cejudo was in the back. That's right. Yep.
A lot
Just
of
a-
champions.
Picture of
Yeah,
killers,
tons.
And you were out there for what? What was that called again?
Ali Abdelaziz, my manager, he had a media day for his dominance dominance management. So there was like 27 fighters. I think he manages close to 100, maybe more.
And you
but
were
27 of the
first, though, right?
I was his first. Me and Henzo were his first, kind of around the same time.
Right on, man. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He's doing a great, man. Honestly, everyone's like, how do you guys all hang out? This and I'm like, dude, we're professional fighters,
you're
bro.
fighters.
And
There's
it's
no-
there. A lot of
there's
us
no-
also come from wrestling backgrounds, and you kind of have that camaraderie together, and we're all in it for the right things. And dude, you get like-minded people. That's why I put out an Instagram post. Like, you get like-minded people around each other. Like that, you feed like even though I'm competing against some of these guys, you feed off the energy that they bring. They're mostly positive people. They're successful people.
Right,
Those are
for
people
sure.
you want to be around. And doing these events, he gets people together. They get to network, and it's just all good. Like I said, there's like 50 media members there. His guys are going to be in the news cycles for the next few weeks, and that's just
Right.
good for his guys, and that's something that he does and no one else does.
And that's good for the reporters and everybody. Have all those big names in one spot to be able to talk
Right?
to
Yeah,
everybody.
it was smart. He did it during a fight week.
Yeah.
They're there anyway, so then they get to do two birds with one stone.
Ali seems to have the backdoor key to the PI, right?
Yeah,
He's the only guy I know
yeah.
who runs practice in there. You're like,
Yeah.
damn, man.
Yeah, but that's what it's for, supposedly.
Yeah, I know. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great, man. If you're in that area, shit.
So back to the fights. Okay, Benil, and then he got rocked and put that dude away. That was awesome. That song he ran out to, I don't know if you heard it, was pretty dope.
I would have picked him, but you grabbed him out. But that would have been my pick.
And then
The next two could have gone either way. I was picking Israel, but I knew it could have gone either way. But epic fight. I mean, Yoel looked great. It was an awesome fight.
no, that fight was whack.
Dude, I don't know.
You thought it was whack?
I think it was. It was
No, I don't know. Listen, as a fighter, me and I was there. It was suspenseful the whole time.
Right.
But it wasn't an entertaining fight.
I mean, you saw Yoel's. You saw his game plan, right? He knew he couldn't exchange too many strikes. You couldn't have long exchanges with him, so he had to explode. And he did explode, and so he hit him once good in the first round.
Yeah.
And if you've seen it from home, live's a little different, but he was exploding with single shots. But, dude, Israel's got a way of bending his body. Dude, he threw a kick and then bent all the way backwards and missing punches. It was
that head kick he threw, right?
Yeah.
But Yoel,
the style bender.
Yoel didn't really get touched. His legs got beat up. His legs got beat up.
And that's that,
I don't know, man. Watching, I don't know. I didn't even know how to score it. It's so hard to score it. And,
I agree.
And when I was there, I thought maybe Yoel. There's some people that thought Yoel. I think Justin Gage said he thought Yoel 4-1. But then
when you see it from home, it's different.
But
though,
then
because
Ali and everyone else like, no way. Even
he had big movements, big swings.
Habib, I think, was saying he thought Israel won too.
Yeah.
And they're all saying this though. You got to take it from the champ. You got to take it from the champ. But I do think you have to. I think you have to. You have to have that mindset. I got to go take it from him. But
you got to think that in every fight.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. But especially that. I got to go take it to him. I got to go bring it to him. But they don't score fights like that. People don't realize that. There's no like, oh, he's a champ. There's no column saying, oh, he's a champ. I'm gonna give it. No, they round one goes. They give the score. Boom. You can't go back to round one because he's a champ or anything.
Right.
Now round two goes, and then at the end that's the score you have. You can't go back.
Not at all. Right.
So it really shouldn't be.
And if you think about a championship fight outside of a draw where the champion retains his title, it's up for grabs. When you're fighting for a title, hey, the belt's in the middle. We're fighting for the belt. I happen to bring it here, but still, it's kind of a vacant title until we win this fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
I mean,
true.
it's a draw like what happened with what's his name?
Well, I'm putting these pants on, bro. I know. I feel like you're getting excited over that.
That's who. Well, I mean, there are they do base on aggression and things like that. If you're not aggressively going after the champ, I would think you have to definitively beat the champ, right? That's what they say. So.
But it's not that way. I mean, there's no rule or like criteria to say that in a championship fight you have to definitively beat him. You just have to beat him 3 rounds. It could be the first, second, and third, and you lose the next 2.
Will be 5 earlier.
Right. You just got to win 3 of 5, and
oh right, I see
that's what it is. You know, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you know. But, dude, Yoel is a freak. 42 years old.
Freak.
Like I watched. You know, I stood right there. I was like kind of right where they walk out, and I'm like, damn.
Bro, he didn't switch his stance. He must have caught 30 late.
Pettis was next to us. He's like, bro, he's 42. I'm like, no shit. Gives crazy.
Gives the old guys hope, man. Him and Steve Rivera giving all the old guys hope.
That's true.
Bro, he goes and does a backflip while in the cage warming up.
No.
I know at the press conference, but still, he's about to fight. He's boom, backflip. Effortless.
Just insane.
For a big boy like that to do that, that's crazy, man.
Super athletic. And he was built like that in the Olympics. You see videos of him.
Like, he's been doing this for a minute.
Still built that way. He looks the same.
Speaking of old guys giving hope, we should give a shout out to Sebastian for winning, man. He's,
hell yeah, dude. Won the Big Tens this weekend. He was
Sebastian
the 5 seed.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah. He was the 5 seed. He got redemption against Gross and then beat RBY in the finals, bro. He have 2 takedowns against Gross. He was down 4-1 in the first period with Gross, or maybe in the second period with Gross on top of him. Gross is great on the mat.
Right.
If someone told you that Seb's gonna be down 4-1 with Gross on top in the second period, you're like, well, he ain't winning that match. You know what I mean? And fucking he's just a gritty kid, man, and I love it, dude. And then against RBY, man, he gave up the first takedown. Comes back and gets it done, dude. He's
so you know Sebastian from a little boy. So
I've known Sebastian since before he was born.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I met Sebastian.
Sebastian was in. Sebastian was in his, you know, what do they call them? Little. The pickup, the carriage. Little. Come on, you guys got 1,000 kids. You don't know
the thing Frankie still.
The carrier. Yeah. When my junior year, he was boom in the gym with Steve. Steve used to always have him in a book bag on his back.
Now, does he have any aspirations to fight in MMA?
He did at one point.
You think he's?
He would come train, and he was tough, dude. Tough as hell, man. Right away, man. Like, bro, he broke his nose, still got the takedown. You know, he ate a knee.
He's just a competitor.
Yeah, if he wants to do it, he could be successful, without a doubt.
Does he talk about it, or is he just so focused on wrestling?
Yeah, he's focused on wrestling right now. He has, this year and then one more year. We'll see. We'll see. He's a smart kid.
Is he a political science major?
No. He's I believe a business major. He's a very smart kid. He goes to Northwestern. So, real smart kid.
I love it. His interviews though. TANJ
all day. You guys both. Shout out TR all day.
That's what I'm saying, man. He comes from a long line of these guys. You know what I'm saying? And for a kid to have that gym in his backyard and all these guys coming through, you could see how people would get sick of it and just be like, the last thing I want to do is wrestle. But he embraced it.
That barn that we always talk about, it was this kid's home.
Yeah, his backyard. Right.
He was just a little kid, and his sister was like backflipping through it.
Yeah,
she was like 3 years old. She's like a gymnast now.
Yeah. Well, no. She just got like Player of the Week for lacrosse.
Oh, was that
for Stockton?
Okay.
Yeah, she's a hell of an athlete.
When she cheered those little girls, she cheered for like the. She was like, I think, top team or whatever it was. I think
she had to be a flyer because she was so tiny.
And her tumble.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Prodigy children right there.
Yeah, so definitely shout to Seabass.
Now you're going out there, right?
I'm going out to Nationals next
so,
week.
yeah.
Man, I'm fucking pumped, bro.
That's
I got my
awesome.
kid. My kid has states this weekend. Kid states.
Oh, so it wasn't this past weekend. I
No.
thought you were gone
that
for
was
it.
the
You're gonna
older
be
kids
there.
in AC.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
awesome. All right. I
It was
thought it
what,
was
like
last week.
high school?
No, this is an AC.
No, the one that just happened
It
last
was
weekend.
Atlantic City. That was Atlantic City.
That was middle school?
That was high school.
High school,
High
okay.
school, yeah. And then this weekend's grade school kids.
Okay.
It's awesome.
And the Nationals in Minnesota. I hope this coronavirus doesn't close it, though.
Oh, bro,
Yeah,
come on. Are we
I
going to get
know.
into that? You buying into that hype?
100%.
I mean, they're closing shit left and right, whether we're believe it or
They're
no.
calling it preparedness.
I know. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I don't know, bro.
So
You know
the
what?
flu,
Like,
right?
listen,
The flu.
I understand. Yes.
No,
Listen,
bro,
I'm
they're-
right with you.
They're Lysol in the
kills-
streets
it kills
in China. They're Lysol in the streets with
30,000
tanks, bro.
people a
That's-
year, right? The flu.
Right.
The coronavirus has killed, what, 26,
So you think this is
22 people?
No, but like I
so
was
far?
listening to the guy that Rogan
There's
had
only
on today.
227 people infected?
Yeah,
Like,
but
that's-
it's the way it spreads. It's the way that it's
Don't
like
you feel like
it's
we've
airborne.
lived through this, though?
I don't
a
know, for
bunch of
sure,
times?
for sure. But
I feel like- I'm
But
not-
you think? So you think? No. We have lived through this with H1N1, Ebola, but no way was it to this
And it
level.
didn't spread
there's a
this
bunch.
fast.
SARS.
Yeah, but no way was it this level.
No
What do you
way.
mean this
No
level?
way.
It's not even a crazy level. What level?
That this many people have it, like countries have it.
Here,
Dude,
it's not
dude,
that bad. But
Italy
in China
shut
was
down.
horrible.
The whole
Yeah.
country shut down.
Right.
Okay, all right, but how
Again.
many people have died? 20,
no.
22, and none of them were healthy human beings.
Think about the percentages though. How many people had it in the United States?
You have
It was like 200 and something. Like if you could look it up.
227 people. or
Yeah,
something
and then
like
how many? 68 died. Like that's pretty
that.
good.
Not in the United States.
Yes, I think in the United
No, I
States.
think
Yeah.
only
No.
20 something
No.
have died so far.
As of a couple of days ago, I think a couple more died. But
Really?
again, it's people with underlying health issues.
Yeah,
and all
old
stuff,
people,
but
underlying
like what
health
the guy was
issues.
saying today, and it's a good point. He says, say people do start getting sick, where it's not killing people, but you have to quarantine yourself.
Right.
These are all healthcare providers that are going to be quarantined, or maybe they're going to shut down schools. Where those kids are going to go? Now, the people that are nurses and doctors that got to get to work to take care of the sick people got to be home because their kids can't go to school. Like it could just start a whole, and
Yeah.
I get it.
A whole shutdown.
In the United States, 30.
30.
Fatality. 30 people. Like, how many?
That's not bad.
So then how? Yeah, okay, but how many people got sick?
Yeah, it's a lot.
Nationwide, there are more than 750 reported cases.
Okay, 750
Right.
reported
In a
cases,
freaking
30
week.
dead.
2 weeks.
What's the percentage of that?
It has been detected.
I don't know, but to put it in realistic comparisons to other things, like, for example, the flu. I think
Yeah.
37,000 people died last year in the
Yeah.
U.S.
No,
Yeah,
I
from
think
the flu.
I think
Crazy,
30,000 people died from October to now already.
Yeah, probably.
Something like that from the flu.
So
In the world. In the world.
Listen,
not in
maybe
the US.
I'm
So you're
the
not
biggest.
sweating it.
I'm
You're
the
not
biggest
sweating it.
skeptic and cynic ever. Maybe I'm all wrong, but I think
No, you think
6
it's fear
months from
it's-
now,
it's-
nobody even fucking
you think
talks
it's
about it.
fear mongering.
I think it's
No, but
fear-mongering.
don't you
I do.
feel like
I think look
with
at what the
these-
news does. Just look at what they do.
yeah.
Politics,
Right.
anything. Look at
But-
what they do. You don't think they're overhyping this for
You're
It
not
race?
has-
gonna watch the news if you don't feel like the world's coming down around you, right? It's the truth.
Has anything ever been to this extent where they're canceling concerts?
Yes.
Dude, colleges been closed
Do you
down.
remember SARS? I remember SARS.
I do.
I don't remember stuff.
I mean, you're a
being-
little, you're a lot
I remember
older.
when I
You're a
was a-
lot older, so maybe
I was a
you know.
I was a kid. The
Remember polio?
bubonic plague. No, I was a kid. I remember the Ebola breakout when I was like a kid.
That was recently, I thought.
Again, okay, the
No.
Ebola breakout, but we heard about that.
And that was
it was
nasty,
other
bro.
places,
People-
though, but
that
here,
was
did
like
you-
No, we had Ebola here.
bro. That was like bleeding out of your eyes, your mouth, your ears. That was some
Yeah.
horrible shit.
and it just went away.
No, they just get it controlled. I mean, science is an amazing
Well,
thing.
hey, he's heard this. He was like the chief of the.
CDC or
CDC
whatever.
kinda,
he was
right?
on the podcast today. Listening.
He's on Rogan. I didn't hear it. He said he heard it, and he said it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, he said
Because
it's
what it is,
expected to get
everyone
like
has to
10
get
times
it and has to get an immunity to it.
Well,
Pretty much what it is.
Not everybody has to get it.
Not everybody, but I'm saying
But a good,
like
yeah.
that's why he said China. See, China's having a dip right now because a bunch of people got it, a bunch of people, but
They
immunity's now
recovered
it's going
from
away.
it.
Totally.
Yeah.
But so take the numbers, right? And I think our people in charge are all over this thing. Take the numbers right now. 30 people have died, right? There's 700 cases. So I think we're going to get it under control in America, which is kind of par for the course, way ahead of everybody else. And I think it will absolutely get more people are going to die, no question. But then 6 months from now, nobody's even going to remember it. That's what I think.
I agree. I
That's
do.
what I think.
do. But how about this? You got to look at it this way. It's always fear mongering and bullshit till it isn't.
Right. Okay. So
Till it isn't.
how about this? This isn't a disease. How about Y2K? Anybody remember Y2K?
Yeah,
I do remember Y2K.
Anybody remember how they blew that up in the
I
media?
know.
For sure,
Everything
for
was
sure.
going to
Dude,
shut
I
down.
thought I was
But
gonna
again,
die.
okay,
bro. I thought I was
okay.
we
gonna
were going to
die.
be burning wood
But
in our
again,
living room.
Y2K, we were all bugging out about what possibly could happen. Now they're flipping out about actually what is happening. Like in other countries, like in China. there's
Okay,
a
fair.
massive
It
amount of
is
people
happening,
dying and,
but
you know
I
what
think
mean?
they're
Like I
blowing
said.
it out of
Oh,
proportion.
I'm sure they are.
And I
'Cause
don't
it makes
think,
it feel like
I don't think other countries.
every day you log on and you look and it's like the red's getting bigger. Like, oh my God, it's moving to my state. Oh
Right.
man, it's getting closer, right? It makes you feel like that.
As far as healthcare goes, I feel like Western medicine is miles ahead of everybody else, and America's the front line
For
of
sure,
that.
but you know, China
So-
supplies like 90% of our pharmaceuticals, right?
Probably.
They do.
Probably.
They do.
But
And
you've
that's
seen some of the
like-
shit that goes on in China?
Well, they eat.
They're eating fucking cats and goats and
Dude,
pigeons.
you know what
over
the
there,
guy was
know?
saying on the podcast? He was saying he went over there and
Mm-hmm.
these open markets with all these animals that they sell and
Right.
eat. He said they had a chicken cage right on top of a ferret
Right,
cage,
right.
and the chickens are shitting on the ferrets.
Right.
And he's like, well, what? You know, that's like an experiment
Why?
we
What
would
do you
never
mean
do. You know what I
chicken
mean?
shit on
Frankie
ferret?
shit, 'cause
Who
you don't know-
eat ferret?
Frankie's shitting on a gerbil right now.
Yeah.
The German that woke me up that night. Remember, he was freaking scratching behind the bed.
Hamster,
I was
bro. My
losing
kid's
it.
hamster.
The hamster.
It's about
Not
a foot in his
Roger's
asshole
gerbil.
right now.
Not Roger's. I don't get that. They really do that?
I don't. I think
Is
that's
that-
an urban legend. That was what's his name? The Richard Gere, right? The Richard Gere urban legend.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had
yeah.
a hamster or a gerbil in his ass.
Gerbil in his ass.
Why? Well, why? Like, why? Is
I
it
guess it gives.
They
Tickles?
burrow because they burrow, bro.
What do you mean? Why? You've never done it, bro? It's
Same
amazing.
reason people are chugging 40s up the ass
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Or whatever.
2 girls, 1 cup. Man.
Oh man!
remember
Suppose that was fake. That was fake. Supposedly.
I
don't
remember
know.
that.
I watched one where someone sent it to me, but back in the day, a dude sat on a glass bottle and it broke inside of it. You heard it like pop, and then he just like left the fucking thing, and it was like glass dripping out of his ass. Yeah,
What
Damn,
of shit
dude.
were you
What?
guys-
dude, like
This
2
was-
girls, 1 cup is better than that.
He-
They're
this
both
is the
pretty
beginning
fucking
of the
horrible.
internet, you remember with him?
Yeah.
It was took an hour for him to
Remember?
dial
Remember?
it up.
I was naked when I watched that one, but do you remember? Do you remember? And this, listen, I'm not making light of this in any way at all, but do you guys remember the beheading videos when we first went
Oh,
up?
God, yeah.
Death,
Bro, it
what,
would
are
make-
those?
It would make me
Faces of
sick.
Death.
It
Faces
would
of
make me
Death,
sick
yeah.
to my
Some of
stomach.
that stuff
Yeah.
you couldn't watch because you can't unwatch
No,
it. You're like, it's
no.
in my head forever. You know, it's like some stuff is, but it's very real other places.
Oh,
you know,
dude, it was
Very real.
Americans that were caught by Al Qaeda and they were
Right, yeah.
beheading them, and it's I can't unforget that. I'll
No, and it
never
would be like
able
not
to.
even.
I don't think I
clean,
watched
like
them.
it wasn't even like
dude,
a
let me-
samurai. It would be
No,
like
it was
oof.
like this. They were like
Yeah.
it was horrible, dude.
Yeah.
I just watched the beginning and I couldn't
Can you
watch
imagine what's out there now? That was in like the beginning
Of the war,
of
yeah.
all this
Of
craziness.
the war,
Imagine
yeah.
now what's
No.
out there, and
Oh, man.
the shock value is so high now.
Yeah.
You need to do some crazy shit to get people to log
You
on.
know, I don't know if I read it or I heard it. I don't know, but they said Native Americans they would to either their rival tribe people or whites they would get them, cut their arms and legs off.
Well, didn't they scalp you alive? Wasn't
They would do that too, but they would get them, cut their arms and legs off, and then put them on a fire and just watch them like just wiggle. It's
At that
crazy,
point,
bro.
you're just begging for a bullet, right?
Yeah,
Damn,
but,
man.
did they even have bullets back then? Yeah, I guess so.
That's how we
musket.
won. Black powder is basically how we won against
sure.
the American Indian.
Well, disease, the
Yeah,
coronavirus.
disease,
That's how we
yeah.
won.
Yeah, again, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And plus, we were able to build cities.
And again,
towns, right?
we cured that, but they were not immune to European diseases because
Right.
we brought it over. So they had to build up immunities, and yeah. So
So that's what's happening now. The coronavirus is weeding out the.
right? Isn't
Right.
isn't that how kind of it works in every animal kingdom?
Yeah, no, it is.
The weak
though.
get, it's kind of like
Survival of the fittest.
thinning the herd, sort of.
Yeah, it's true.
You know?
And they supposedly say it's really affecting old people. People over like if you're under 60, I think the survival rate's 99.7%.
I got a year left.
He said, "I'm good." Just about the
Enjoy
time
it.
to collect the Social Security, and then they're like,
Yeah.
"Get him, right? Gotta go." Yeah,
It's crazy, man. I mean, none of us know. I act like I know. You don't know. I don't. None of us know. Do I think it's completely overhyped? Yeah. Is it a concern? Sure. Should it be addressed? Absolutely. But do I think some of it is for ratings, for news organizations, and do I think some of it has to do with our political agenda right now with the
Agenda,
presidency?
right.
And do it? I do. You know.
See, I don't follow any of that stuff. I if it doesn't happen right outside my door,
Yeah.
I try not to.
You don't know about the coronavirus?
No, I'm talking about politics and agendas and all this other. You know what I mean? But it definitely seems like it's blown up
Yeah.
everywhere. But again, like listening to this today and this dude from the CDC talking, whether or not, again, you don't even know who to
Mm-hmm.
listen to, but this guy seemed like what he was saying is the panic is real.
real,
Like you should be a little worried about it. You know what I mean? Like if you're somebody, an older person or somebody with an underlying health issue, like be careful going in public places.
I'm sure he gave some. You listened to the podcast. I didn't. I'm sure he gave some guidelines, especially to the elderly and stuff. What are his suggestions?
You got to hit them
Purell
with a
and Lysol.
flamethrower if they're
hit 'em with a
sick.
flamethrower.
You got to just flamethrow them in the street. No. But he was saying like just the masks and all this stuff. He's like it's not really gonna do anything. He's like the one type of mask that's really like if you would use on a construction site that doesn't let any air in, that would help you. But all the other stuff, he's like not
How about
really.
ass to mouth? Is that okay?
Well, now you say that, but they've been wearing those type of masks in China. It's the air quality. I'm not saying it's disease,
yeah.
but they've been wearing those in China for
It is so.
every video
when
you
did we
see
go-
of China.
When did we
every
go to
yeah,
Japan?
dude.
When did we go to Japan? How long ago?
2011,
Is
12.
it
like-
Japan or China or both?
All
Yeah,
over, all
yeah.
over. I remember we went to Japan.
Dude,
the
it's
first
coming
time.
over here though. People, even before this virus, you're starting to see people wear those masks more and more.
Yeah. But I remember we went to
Japan,
and
everybody,
we
dude.
stepped off the airport, stepped out of the airplane, and we had to walk in. We walked through this thing that took our temperature. Then we had to walk in some kind of foam with our sneakers, I guess, to sanitize us.
Oh, no
You know what I mean? And then you go there, and this is the first time we really saw it. Everybody's got masks on. Remember Mark?
But I don't remember any of that.
Doctor kept going out there. Everybody.
I don't remember any of that.
You don't remember any of that?
Walking through the fuzzy
The
stuff?
foam? You don't
The
remember
foam? No. I don't.
I might have got kicked out of you. That memory.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
that was like when it took our temperature. Like, what the fuck?
What do you mean
What
took
is-
your temperature?
Like it was like
Oh, I think I do remember
You know how
that.
you walk out of a department store and it has like the thing that would pick up the scanner, the sensor,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like the little apparatus.
It's like,
that, but
Men
it
in
took a
Black Day.
temperature.
You're like,
So
look
let-
right
let-
here.
Let's say you had it 102 feet. They
I
would
know.
stop you.
I
Is that what you-
guess I would think
And
so.
say,
That-
listen, you're
Dude, I remember
You're quarantined or something?
I was in Singapore. I don't know, I guess a couple years ago, and I was coming home and I got sick. I just, jet lag was real bad. I partied one night.
take a boat over there, sailor boy.
Yeah, I partied, whatever. Partied, didn't get sleep, so I'm leaving and I start getting sick, like bad, and I'm freezing. And you cannot get Singapore is like a jungle. It's fucking 90 degrees all the time, hot and humid. I'm in the airport looking for a fucking hoodie. You could not find one. I'm freezing my ass off. But anyway, on the plane, they're like, if you're sick, please tell if you're sick, you have a cough or anything, please tell your the attendant. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Okay, but what happens? They boot you
throw
off.
you-
I don't
throw
know.
you
I
right
was
out of the
I was
airplane,
not
out of
gonna
the
find
back.
out. I was
No.
not gonna ask.
They're
I
like,
none.
come in the back, sir. You kidding me?
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I
take
was
that
like, I
shot
am
at
not
all.
I'm like, I got the fucking
pepped
Asian
up.
flu, and I'm taking it home with me.
She came over and asked you, like, yeah, I'll take everything. I have water, chips. I'm good. I feel great.
4 blankets.
Dude,
Dude, that was a
we were
miserable
just-
trip, man. Holy
We were
shit.
just in South Korea.
I know.
I mean, without, obviously, before this whole thing, but like just, it's crazy.
And South Korea is like a hotbed too.
Big time. And if it comes out in the news, it was around months before. If we got that news across, you know what I mean? Like,
So a lot of these infectious diseases are animal born, right? They start in animals.
yeah, like what he was trying to say is like, I guess in these open markets, a lot
Right.
of times there's so many people together, but they have all these different animals
Right.
living together. Like you said, chickens shitting on ferrets and whatever it may be. That this stuff happens, and the people are living so close together.
You
that
guys
it's
remember
always-
when AIDS first came out? Like the rumors, like a guy fucked a monkey. That's
Yeah,
how it-
yeah,
Or he got
right,
bit by a
right.
monkey.
I remember
Yeah.
like it
Fuck
was,
the monkey,
it
got
was
bit by a
yesterday.
monkey.
Yeah.
Like, and I still don't know how AIDS came around. Did a guy fuck a monkey? I don't know.
I don't know.
You know?
No, I don't think none of us know, right?
I thought someone got bit by a monkey. That's
Could
what I
be.
thought.
No, that's the movie. That's Outbreak.
That was Outbreak.
That was Outbreak, the movie. Yeah. That was literally Outbreak.
Some
the
bad
movie.
shit happened with the monkey.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And that was literally a death sentence. People were freaking
Yeah,
dying.
but
all
remember,
around.
I mean, I literally remember, like, first time I ever heard of AIDS, and you're a kid, and, talking to your, like, what is it? What is?
Yeah,
oh, somebody,
yeah.
you're like whispering to your money. Somebody fucked a monkey, like, really? And then you believe it, and then
Right,
you
right.
you don't know,
But you don't know.
I was like, damn,
Yeah.
I was gonna fuck that monkey.
But I would,
that
I
off
would,
the list.
I
damn
would
it.
have to think that in fecal matter and feces and animal waste,
Right.
that a lot of these diseases
I mean,
must
it
come
will
from.
in
So you
human
would,
waste.
you would
Probably in
think
human
it's
waste,
sick.
yeah, but we
I
just
mean-
we.
well, but in
Right.
America we're very clean, right? So you don't get a lot.
Well,
of
yeah,
that.
but even in other countries, I mean, they're not as clean as us. But probably most. I mean, I don't know. They
So,
probably do have.
all
I would
plumbing
think in a
things,
lot of these
you know.
places where you see animals kept in very unkept conditions
Right.
and they're selling them as food and stuff, I would think that
All
that is
this
going to
stuff.
be the beginning
It was
of a lot. I would think. I
and
don't know.
like he was saying how in these markets you go there, you pick the animal, they cook it right in front of you, and
Yeah.
you eat it right there, and that's that's not sanitary at all. These dudes are picking stuff up with their hands.
Right.
I did that. We were there. I
Yeah.
went to the fish market. This
I probably
huge-
would.
Listen,
Oh,
if
yeah.
there's food anywhere, Chris is
Anywhere.
gonna fucking eat it. I don't give a
I
fuck if
pick
it's
food
on the
up Frankie's plate
floor.
like he's my wife.
If the
I'm like,
fucking sloth from the Goonies picked
and
it
now
for
with
him.
this outfit on, I'm gonna
Baby
keep on
Ruth,
doing it.
Baby Ruth.
I'm gonna push up a little more. It's gonna feel like shit getting submitted by a guy that wore this outfit.
I feel like every subject we talk about down here, we're certainly not experts. We're a couple idiots just going back and forth with banter, and we have no idea where it comes from. But who really fucking does? You know what I mean? Like,
Who do you
like
even
who
know?
can
I'm sure
give a,
somebody
who can
does.
give a definitive answer?
I'm sure whoever does, they're listening to us and
SARS
they're
came
saying,
from,
"Listen
or
to
where-
these dumb motherfuckers."
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Where-
You're right.
Where did this come from? Is it did it come from an animal?
Hey, didn't the Black Plague or bubonic
rat.
plague
That was a rat.
right? Yeah,
Right, that was rats.
from
Well,
an
no,
animal,
but it
though,
was
right?
on the fleas that were on the rats.
Oh,
Wasn't that
okay,
what it
yeah,
was? And
yeah,
then the
yeah,
fleas
yeah.
got
I think
in
so.
and- yeah.
I think so.
Really?
But again, now
Look
where
at that.
that
We
came
can
from.
piece a fucking good fact together.
for sure.
Take 3 of us, but we'll get there.
You know what you got to think? A lot of these things are though that this is just a byproduct of living the way we do.
Yep.
People stacked up in buildings, and people you have so much shit and waste.
Mm-hmm.
Like I work on the railroad, and guys that say 30 years ago, all they moved was building material, was wood and steel because civilization, everything was getting built. People
Yeah.
were coming to Jersey, coming to the area.
Right.
Now, what do we move is garbage and
Right.
fucking human waste and ethanol. That's basically
Yeah.
what the railroad
Yeah.
does now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just to try to move everybody's fucking waste.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Go ahead.
people want open borders. Let everybody in. Like we got enough people here now. We're shitting on top of each other.
This is true. This is true.
Well, it's not space that we're really in jeopardy of
gotta be,
on the
to some
planet.
degree.
No, not really. Not on the planet. No
resources.
way.
All right, hit me with some knowledge. What is it?
No,
Yeah, it
it's we're polluting this place too much.
Right. Like the air
It's
quality.
no, like it's not like no. I'm saying people wise.
No, actually, there's a documentary called Cowspiracy. Right, it's probably the best argument if a vegan was ever going to argue with me for the reason to become a vegan. It's based more in science rather than go hug a cow. You should love cows and cows equal to a human. I don't get behind that argument at all. But it's saying that so much land is being leveled for beef,
for agriculture,
for-
Right.
for
cattle, for beef,
raising,
and
right.
for
Okay.
dairy, and for that it's taking up. It's
Suppo-
killing our environment. The byproducts of cattle are hurting our environment.
Supposedly
more.
that's not true. I don't know if that's true.
Supposedly,
Yeah.
according to who? Not Cowspiracy. That was a great documentary.
Yeah,
But I mean, that makes a lot of
every,
sense.
I
If
feel
you're
like every
leveling trees-
documentary is
I agree.
skewed in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
But if you're leveling
All you got to do
trees,
is watch a Michael Moore one.
Right.
yeah, right. It's crazy. That makes sense, though, right? You're
What?
leveling trees to make open land that's not, trees
No,
float to the
but-
air. We know that, right? It's gonna.
But I'm saying that like it's like say overpopulation is what like people are worried like we're gonna have too many people. It's not like if too many people we'll run out of room. It's too many people. We'll just have too much.
But that's not true. At some point, you
At
would.
some point, yes, but not for a while.
right.
But what the problem before we run out of room will be the carbon footprint that every person leaves.
Well, I agree, but is it that you're running out of room, or is it that you're running out of quality where people want to live?
No, I'm just saying, like they said right now, because of the coronavirus, that industry shut down in China, that they actually can see a blue sky for the first time in I don't know how many years.
Wow.
Makes sense.
So like stuff like that.
That's why they wear masks over there a lot of
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
The air
yeah.
quality.
No, when
shit,
we
'cause
when we were in
'cause the
South Korea,
factories
South
don't
Korea
have-
they said shitty air because of India and China.
How many
There's no
people?
di-
How many
there's no-
people
yeah.
around the country right now that are listening to us, like fucking guys from Jersey, talking about air
Oh
quality?
my
Yeah,
god!
yeah,
I
yeah.
know. Shit.
I
It's
think
the
actually,
worst.
all right.
The
I do.
ongoing
Let's
joke
see.
is people hold their breath, going through
Yeah,
Jersey.
bro. You get past exit 12 on the turnpike.
Doesn't it have air quality on the weather?
Does it? Yeah.
The funny part about that is, and I don't notice it. I've been here so long, I don't notice really. It's not actually fair to say. I do notice a slight difference when I go back home to Maine in air quality. I especially notice a big difference when I look at the sky at night.
100%.
It's a world of difference
Dude,
when
I
you look
live
at the
in
sky.
Delaware.
Yo,
It's
air quality right
so
now
much
is
better.
moderate. Is moderate good? I guess I drink
Compared to where?
moderately. They drink moderately is good.
Compared to friggin' China.
Didn't you tell me
compared to-
moderation in drinking is kind of where
It
the sweet
is,
spot?
Yeah, you're right.
So he
There you
said.
go.
He said he was saying this before. It kind of makes sense because obviously too much alcohol, booze is not good for you,
Everything in moderation.
right? But nothing, then you have daily stresses that you can't get away.
Right, you have no.
So
no
in moderation,
taking the edge
man.
off.
I agree. I've
So
always
is
said that.
moderate air quality good? I guess so.
I guess it ain't
I'll
bad.
take everything in moderation, even my air.
Even my hair.
Going back to what Roger said, you said that our air quality right now is moderate.
Yeah.
In Cherryfield, it's good.
Where he is from,
Mhm.
he's good. Yeah.
So
So
Maybe that's why you're so tall.
it could be.
Yeah, right.
Breathing that good air. Breathing that good air.
My girl is
big.
addicted to Afrin nasal spray, right? Like literally addicted. I think she got a problem. I tell her all the time, you got a fucking problem. Freaks out.
Afrin is addicting.
It is.
Doesn't that clog you up though after a while from using
listen,
it?
she swears she can't breathe without it. Like swears.
Dude,
I make fun of her all the time. Saline. She won't.
Yeah.
She refuses.
What?
She refuses. She's stubborn. But I tell her all the time, you're a crackhead. You're addicted to fucking, Afrin. Like you're a crackhead. We went up to Maine for a long weekend. Went up there and didn't use it the whole weekend.
Because of the
Said in her entire life.
It's because that air.
That's what she claims.
You're giving her that good air.
And you're moderately fucking Renee.
Yeah.
But hey, doesn't Afrin have epinephrine in it?
Bro, I don't know.
Didn't you remember you see the movie Crank?
Yeah.
Right? Didn't he go get a bunch of Afrin?
I believe so.
Yeah, because he need epinephrine.
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie?
Yeah,
Chris don't fucking know. He don't.
No,
Chris
he
sees movies. He has no idea. He has no
time.
idea the
This
name of the
fucking guy.
title,
Hey,
who's in it.
How about
nothing.
this guy? Frankie's the guy that comes for the previews. He wants to see the previews. He's got his popcorn. Wants to see the
Bro,
movies
I
that are
fucking
coming
into the
up.
previews
Are you
because I
kidding
want to
me?
see what I want to
Him
see
and Mark
eventually.
Lee. Who is the screenwriter on that one? Oh, that's I'm like, get the fuck? Are you kidding me? And now we're into it. I'm napping. I'm gone.
Wait, you guys go to a lot of movies together?
No.
On fight weeks, we watch nothing but movies.
We
And
used
make
to
fun of each other.
We used to go to movies now.
We put movies on instead of their phones now.
Yeah, you're right.
I haven't seen an adult movie, and I can't tell you when all I do is watch kid movies now.
Adult movie.
I do watch nothing but kids stuff now.
How many kids you got, Chris?
I have four.
So you moved to Delaware recently?
3 years maybe.
3 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far is that from here?
Here, like almost 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
2 hours, yeah. This is a destination. This isn't like a drive-through spot. You realize when you move outside of this general area, you have to want to come here to, like, this doesn't, you don't drive by Tom's River.
Right.
You know what I mean?
This guy thinks the Parkway. Everything in New Jersey is pretty much off the fucking Parkway. So what are you talking
You're
about?
the furthest away. Listen, it takes me the same amount of time to get to my brother's house in Scotch Plains, New Jersey.
This
as
doesn't
it
make
does to
sense.
Tom's
How does
River,
that
New
make
Jersey.
sense? How does that make sense?
Because you're so far off the beaten path.
No, because you drive like you're fucking driving Miss Daisy. That's the fucking problem, bro. This
put a
guy
chip
drives
in his
so
car.
fucking
He
slow.
put a chip in his race car to pick his kids up from school. Who's fucking this guy? You know what I'm saying? Where you going, Frank? Where are we going? This guy's always...
All right, Chris. I don't know if Roger knows this. Chris, you are 37. No, 38. 38.
So something that our followers, subscribers might not know about Chris is a bit of a badass himself. He's got a pretty stacked MMA career that I didn't really know about. You mentioned to me one day in here, just shooting the shit, that he fought Matt Brown. Everybody knows who Matt Brown is. And not only did he fight him, he fucking beat him. Tell us about that fight. When was that?
That was, I don't even know what year it was.
11, 12.
Yeah, something like that.
Where? Where was it?
That was in Brookdale.
Brookdale.
Community College, yeah.
Brookdale Community College?
Yep.
Good shit.
Yeah.
What series was that?
Fighting a
Not
cage,
even
I don't
there
know, one of them.
Yeah,
I got the
fighting
belt
a
from it in the basement. The kid would play with it. Yeah.
So, you were
So,
a
Chris,
more.
let
go
me
ahead.
go back. Chris is 37. How old's your oldest daughter?
Just turned 21.
Just turned
you started
21.
young, bro.
16, yeah.
Wow.
And then by the time I was 19, I had 2 kids.
Good for you, man.
Well,
You got it. There's two ways. There's two kind of schools of thought on that. I did the
Right.
exact opposite. You can either start young and have youth on your side, right? Be that
100%.
young,
You're not
energetic dad,
established,
but
but
you
probably not
have-
be financially
Right,
as established.
right,
I did the
right.
exact opposite. I 39. I had my first kid, so
Wow,
I was
right.
more financially stable. Figured out who I was, and
True.
But in Chris's, defense, and Chris, whatever, he didn't plan any of that.
okay.
You know, he was
No.
16. He got a girl who you even with her,
Yeah,
really?
a couple months, and then I
Yeah.
got a call and said, "Hey, I'm having a baby."
Did you
in
run
2
8
months."
miles to have sex with her?
Yeah, but no, I got kicked out of school in 6th grade. I went to like an alternative school through the rest of my schooling, all through middle school and high school. So my high school, there was like literally 5 girls in the whole school, and fucking I impregnated one.
Do you want?
Imagine?
Was that your virginity story or no?
No.
Do you want to tell us your virginity story? It's kind of become a staple on the show.
All right, yeah.
All right,
I
let's
guess I
go.
can.
Let's go.
Obviously no names, right? Because I still
They still exist.
I just I see her around. You know what I mean?
Oh wow.
But no, I don't see her around. Whatever. Social
Do I
media
see her?
is still very.
Yeah.
What's that?
Do I see her around?
No, I send the DMs to me after I do arms. You know? No, but I was nervous, I was probably like fucking 13 years old. So
What the fuck are you Jersey guys doing?
I had a kid at 16.
Listen, bro, you guys had good air to breathe up there, okay? You guys were outside breathing air. We were inside fucking huffing.
Apparently, it makes you impotent.
So we're in my buddy's room, and my buddies were there. I was under the sheets. So I wanted them to stay in the room, but I kept making up excuses for them not to leave because I was like fucking nervous. You know what I'm saying?
So there's one girl in the room
yourself.
in bed with you, and your buddies in the room too.
Two kids there, and then I'm at the one kid's house. And,
it sounds like that, bro. What does that sound like? It sounds like Daytona with us all in the room.
You guys are probably trying to take pictures with each other.
No,
take pictures of it, but
he basically videoed a porno in Daytona. Oh, Steve's here. Yeah, fuck yeah. Can we get that? No, we can't. Shit, never mind.
Whatever, fuck it. We can do whatever we want. This is the fucking Champ and The
So,
Tramp show, motherfucker.
We were just talking about Sebastian Rivera, who just won a Big Ten, and his dad's walking in. Steve Rivera, who's a legend in the wrestling community.
Big time.
Well, he's coming soon. We'll see. He's a little bit of a procrastinator. So back to Chris.
Okay, so anyway, I'm under the blankets. I start fucking this girl. So my buddy's mom comes up. The door's locked. Starts banging my door.
At that age, are you really fucking, or are you just kind of like figuring it out?
No. Yeah, I'm probably just figuring it out. You know what I mean? I probably didn't have the hips at the time, but we were fucking. So she was super young, and I guess she just got off her period or whatever, so she fucking stunk horribly. So his mom's banging on the door. So I literally wait. So I pop up, I grab her off the bed, and we kind of all throw her in the freaking closet and close the door. So
your buddies are still in the room?
They're right there, right next to us in the bed.
Steve
Rivera
in the house. What's up, buddy?
So wait. Hold on. We gotta rewind that. Rewind just a little bit. He said she stunk so fucking bad.
Horrible.
The girl you're fucking?
The girl I'm fucking.
Wow.
You smell it up here. You didn't go down on her.
No, up here. Like I'm under the blankets because my buddies are there. So I'm trying to cover myself up, but they're still there. But it's like horrible, right?
Even with the bad air quality in Jersey, you
horrible.
Still smell it?
And it was only fair then also. And so she jumps in the closet, kind of throw her in the closet. My buddy's mom walks in. What are you guys doing here? She's like, what is that smell? I felt so horrible. I'm like, 'cause now she's in the fucking closet, and then, you know what I mean? It was like,
nobody, no. At this point, now it's a little bit you too.
No, you know it is. You
got a little bit of that stink dick at that point.
But I remember that, and then obviously, like a true man, I still fucked with her after that. But
oh my god,
for a little bit after.
And you said you still see her. I hope she's listening.
Oh god.
So yeah,
smelling like Badessi, booty, dick, and pussy.
Listen, vinegar and water don't cost that much.
What are you gonna do? But yeah, so that was what it was. First, that's probably.
So you didn't even get to finish, Mom.
No, not at all. It just started getting moist and smelly, and then here we are.
Frankie's story is good, and it might take the cake. That's a good one, but I think Frazier, man, with the pigs, dude. I think Frazier might be in the lead, man. He lost his virginity in a bed with pigs in it, bro.
Pigs. Yeah, you said that,
right? Crazy.
The things we do, right? The things we do, horny young men. That's why with my daughters from. The older two, from when they were probably too young to even hear me say it, I would tell them all about boys, what they're expecting. They're going to tell you anything to do something, and then once you do it, you're always going to be the girl that did it, and everybody's going to know, so you got to live with it,
Now, you were the same way with your youngest daughter?
Not so much. She's a little more. She's 10, but like a young 10. She doesn't leave our sight. She doesn't. I was a weekend dad with them, so I felt like I had to just cram everything I could in a couple days. You know what I mean? Every week. So. Yeah, that was big. But raising women is the scariest.
So what are your buddies doing? They're watching you. What are they doing? Playing cards in the corner?
I vaguely remember exactly what was going on, but I remember they were in the room and when his mom walked in, she was like, "What is that smell?"
I might as well share the Daytona story because I just remembered it. Because I won't share in detail, but we went to Bike Week in Daytona. Louis, how many of us went down? There had to be fucking 12 of us, maybe. It was like three carloads of us, a big 23-foot enclosed trailer we had a quad with 22s or 24s. We had a kid had a quad in there, like a Banshee, on 24 car wheels that he drove down the road, right? Anyway, we went down this G-Wagon, this dually. We got down there and we're just raging. We got a hotel right on A1A. I can't believe I'm telling the story, but I'm not married anymore, so And this is many years ago. So
wait, this is before you were married?
Way before I was married.
Oh,
way
so then
before.
why? What the fuck? What's the matter?
Because I got kids. So now I think every thought I have now goes back to kids. But fuck it, it's our podcast. You just told that story. So anyway, Lou,
You talking about Stinky Puss? Come on.
Louis, me, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 of us. Well, first of all, we went on the beach and we all got tickets for doing wheelies on the beach. And then we took a ride down A1A and we pulled into kind of like this busy hotel where everybody was just like hanging off the balconies and stuff. And this girl, right, yells down like, "Yo, you!" And I didn't even know she was talking. I was like, me? I was kind of a dork. I was skinny, lanky, like thought I was cool, but wasn't at all cool, But she's
got
pointing
Jersey-fied. Before you got Jersey-fied.
I became a Guido. She's pointing down like, you, I want to get on your bike. And I'm like looking around like, who the fuck's she talking to? And I'm like, wait, me? She's like, yeah. So she comes down and she's not a smoke show, but not bad, bro. I'd say she was a solid 7, 8. And she's younger, but she's just down and crazy, like fucking just crazy. Had obviously been drinking. She's like, take me for a ride. So we take her for a ride. We ended up back at our hotel room, which has
somehow you looped around the corner and pulled right back to the hotel. That's how.
It's like what 5 in the middle of the day. It's like noontime. There's like 5 guys in our room, and she wants to get down. Doesn't care that there's 5 guys in the room. Could
like
care
5
less.
guys and burgers and fries?
Like 5 guys just hanging out, drinking, out on the balcony. Doors are open.
And she didn't give a fuck.
And she didn't give a F, bro. And she just wants to get down. So I'm like, I can't be a pussy. Like,
your boys are watching, but you never live that down.
So we just start doing it in front of everybody, right?
But
like
the pressure
everybody.
on that performance is
I look back
and
Louis, this guy is back there with a video camera.
Yes.
Look how long ago it was with the video camera. What was it?
Like running. He's like, spread your legs a little bit more, like in the balls. And I'm like, bro, you're like a professional at this shit. So yeah,
and obviously she was down with it.
There's a video out there somewhere of me having sex with a girl in a hotel room.
She knew it was right. It was like
she could have given a fuck less.
You know what I always think about stuff like that? She goes to parent teacher conferences now. So how is she doing in math? I always think about that. Like, but what are you gonna do?
It's out there somewhere. I don't know where it is. Actually, probably I have it somewhere. Probably buried in some 8mm.
Dude, that's gonna be going on our next YouTube clip.
That's gonna be that's the audition film if this don't work out. You know what I mean? Just send that out. Jack, dude,
bro, you could be the next Kim Kardashian.
We get him with thumb rings, bro. He's every dude in every porno you ever watched. You know what I'm saying? You know it.
I take it. Chris doesn't go Jesse's route.
No.
He must still watch porn.
He doesn't internalize.
Well,
no. Just they don't watch porn.
I can't.
Chris knows the characters.
I don't. I
know the plot.
I don't believe him when he says that.
Hell no, bro.
Maybe I don't know.
Everybody watches porn.
Less and less as I get older, for sure.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Less and less.
You're losing your libido.
Do you have less and less sex as you get older? Is it just the drive goes away?
No. I'm having just as much sex, but like. There's so many stipulations for me now. I have a 21-year-old daughter. I can't watch like a young girl. I feel like a creep. I can't watch like I feel like if the chick's not into it, like if a dude picked the chick up on the side of the road, I'm like, I feel bad for. I know they're role playing.
Are you kidding me, dude?
I swear
you
to God.
fucking feel bad. Oh my God.
It's horrible.
Why do you think I was here earlier taking that video of him? What do you think I'm doing?
But definitely less and less. But.
Yeah, I would say, although I'm fucking recently divorced and in a new relationship, so I feel like we fuck like rabbits now.
Yeah, that's the rabbit stage.
Yeah,
call that the rabbit stage.
You're in the lust stage, so.
Right.
Yeah.
The rabbit stage doesn't last long, buddy.
No, I know, buddy. I know. Yeah.
Take advantage while you
can. Uncomfortable
can.
stage and begin. Well, he don't have. He was freaking went to kindergarten with Renee.
But
I remember with my wife, the uncomfortable stage in the beginning, we had to get drunk every weekend because you were still kind of like uneasy with each other. So you had to, you know what I mean?
Chris is getting slammed.
You know that's right. She's carrying me home. You remember after my fight that one time?
My wedding, we had an after party. Remember we hired that whole room to have like an after party, and you came up to me like, "Yo, bro, I'm getting out of here." I'm like, "What? Fuck, you're not gonna like hang out and do the after party with us?" He's like, "No, Renee wants to get down, bro. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
I'm going home and getting late." I was like, "All right, see you later."
No kids. I'm just getting with while I can.
My buddy Frank and his wife Jess came to that, and because of that night, they stayed in the hotel room right there. They had their second kid.
Is that wow.
She got pregnant that night. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, huh? Too.
Hey, wow. Speaking of that, look at this.
Speaking of what?
Speaking of that, look.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that. Go bring it up
there. Yeah, buddy.
Hook it up to the camera so everybody knows. It's a little, what is that, like cigar box?
Cigar and
Cigar box.
I think
it says, Frankie, will you marry me? No. It says Frankie Edgar Groomsman.
It was
for
a couple
Roger and Jenny.
Yeah.
What's the date? It was 16th, right?
That was October 18th,
18th.
2015.
Okay, yeah,
Did I get it right? Yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
Don't have to get it right ever again.
We were only married like 3 years. But
all
we
those
together.
demons are in that box.
We
Don't
were
open
together.
the box. Don't open the box.
What's in the box?
How long were you married for?
You know, there was never any head in my box.
How long were you guys married for?
We were married 3, but
And
we
how-
were together almost 9.
Yeah, you were together a long time.
Yeah. But it felt like fucking 20. I mean, not bad mouthing Jenny in any way, but just we were so fast paced. It felt like it was more, you know.
A lot of living in those years.
No dull moments, you know. It was
Living
always
the
on
way
the
you
go.
guys did it too, it's got to be tough, man. Living in the spotlight like that. A little bit, you know
I don't
what mean?
attribute that. I would never listen. I blame. I put the blame on both of us for failing equally. You know, but the way it ended, I also take responsibility for. But I don't. I signed up for that for day one. Like if we were together and that happened, then maybe I would say, oh fucking, you know, this shitstorm came into my life. I'm mad at doing it. I can't really bitch
but
about
again,
that. You know?
like how was your upbringing? How was your family? Was your mom home? Was normal 5 o'clock dinner?
Totally.
And mom sat down, did the homework. Was always
Jenny and I grew up completely different, and when we met, it was a whirlwind, crazy lifestyle that I wasn't used to.
Did you kind of in the back of your mind think, okay, after this stage goes away, it's going to be?
That's what I thought. I thought when we had kids, it was,
That's got to be tough.
We were
Like,
done,
I
and
just
then
know
it
in
starts
my
right back up
situation-
again, and then So
in my situation with my wife, if if she didn't do all that stuff and I was forced to raise my kids any more than I do, they'd be animals. You know what I mean? It would like.
We've got a good thing now, though. I mean, listen, I can't say it enough that we're in a good place. She's actually texting me right now because our daughter's sick. We're in a good place. So here it is a year later after all that craziness, and we're good. You know, we got a PTA conference tomorrow, so it's like, you know, listen. If it doesn't work out, what's the next best thing? Is to be civil and be friends and be, you know what I mean? So things are good, man.
We all grew up in a generation of divorced parents.
Yeah.
The generation before that,
Right.
you would never get divorced. They live in 2 separate rooms for 30 years and never get divorced. Then the generation of our parents are like, you got to be happy.
Mine were 25 years and got divorced.
Right.
Mine were like 10 years and got divorced, probably.
Yeah,
something like that.
9 or 10.
Lou, I wish we had a mic for Lou. Lou's got some interesting stories sometimes too. But Lou, his take on marriage is he refuses to get married. He thinks it ruins things, right? Do I have that correct? He's been with Meg for how long? 15 years.
He don't want to get married because he don't want to remember a date.
Right. No. But again, now that's because the girl that you're with is cool with it.
Who
got married because they wanted to get married? Who got married? I would be with my wife.
How many kids you have?
I did not want to get married, bro.
3 kids.
It's all for them.
Not married.
It's all for them.
But
Of
listen,
course,
I'm gonna tell you this.
that's why I did
I
it.
keep telling everybody this. It doesn't. You're fucking married. You have a kid with someone.
Yes.
You're married for life.
Yes.
You can get married, never have a kid with someone,
I agree.
get divorced from them, and never have to see them
Listen,
ever
buying
again.
A house is more
Listen.
involved than a marriage.
Yeah,
Let alone
yeah.
a kid is the most.
Yeah,
involved
once you
you're
have a
gonna be,
kid, if you want to be in the kid's life, you're gonna have to be in their life forever.
Correct. Yep. Forever tied.
Yeah.
Forever tied. And that was the hardest thing about, for me, our separation is that, it felt like the whole family was getting ripped apart. It wasn't that Jenny and I split up. It was the family
Right, of
dynamic.
course.
Because I grew up, even though my parents separated, they didn't separate until my sister were like 18 and 19. We were adults, you know.
Right.
And we never saw, there was never really any, it wasn't a lot of
You didn't see
confrontation.
it
Nobody
coming?
cheated. It's not like my mom was a Jersey girl, didn't like living in Maine. My dad was dedicated to his business, building a business, and they kind of just fell out of love as the years went on. There was no extracurricular affairs or anything like that.
She was more of a moderate air type of girl.
Yeah. She liked the shit air down here. You guys
She wanted to get back to Seaside. She wanted to get back to the boardwalk.
She worked up at the refinery now in Linden.
Yeah. Right. That's how, if there is going to be a split, that's how you hope it would be, right?
Yeah,
It's
well,
just
I
kind of
wasn't-
cordial, and
yep.
hey, man, we're going to go, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I guess if you could avoid it, it'd be best. But
oh, yeah, I'm not.
some people can avoid it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I also, Not just because my wife's gonna listen to this, whatever. But I married my best friend. Me and my wife are still best of friends. We get along.
So cute,
Not a lot of
Chris.
people do that.
Aw.
Some people get to the point in life where they're like, "Hey, it's time to get married," and here, it's like the lights just came on at the club. You know, here, come on, let's go.
Chris and his wife sit on the same side of the booth.
And they get made fun of for that. You imagine that?
It's fucking funny. They hold hands.
We used to do
I said, "How do you eat? How do you eat?"
We used to do that.
Because I ate one hand. I
We
cut
feed
my.
each other.
I
We wrap around.
we both cut our meat
You know
together.
what I'm saying? We wrap around. And
We used to do that in pickup trucks in Maine. Like the girl would scoot all the way over. There'd be a whole bench seat on that side with nobody in it, and the girl would be humped right up, like one leg over your leg, driving around.
country ass shit.
Yeah, some country bumpkin.
And you know
shit
it was
up
a
there.
pickup truck.
It was
Everyone had a pickup truck.
Everybody, listen. I went when I went to high school. I hear you can't do it now. When I went to high school, you could have a gun rack in the back of your thing with your guns hanging on it. Park it 5 feet out of the school.
Really?
Leave there. Put your Hunter Orange on and drive around the corner and go hunt right behind the school.
And just have your guns just
Yeah,
like where someone could break your
I
window
never
and
did
stuff,
it, but my buddies used to ride their snowmobiles and park it on the soccer field and come to school on a snowmobile. Like
Wow.
it was crazy. Yeah.
Wow,
That's cool.
wild.
That's,
Yeah.
is it still like that there?
I don't think so because of all the school shootings. I think
I
a
would
lot of
say
things changed, but-
population too, right?
I had
Probably
an
not a lot of
English
people.
project due where I brought in a reloader and loaded and reloaded shotgun shells for my class and showed
What kind of fucking
right?
homeschool?
Yeah, no, that wasn't
fucking
homeschool, bro. That
backwoods
was high
shit?
school. Yeah,
You're like, that's your
That was
fucking
high
show
school.
and tell?
He
Come
showed
in here and show
he
how to
showed
do it.
all 13 of his classmates.
Sounds like my high school.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, 7 towns went to my high school. Seven different-
towns, and he had what? How was your graduating class?
My graduating class was 55 kids.
7 towns. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, it's just, listen.
You missed that?
Your
You missed
virgin
that at all?
story.
Parts
You-
of it, parts of
more.
it, I truly miss.
And you go back
parts-
there now?
but it's changed. It's not like when literally, and I'm not just saying this. When I was a kid, everybody left the door unlocked. Nobody locked your car doors.
Right.
Drugs were not an issue when I was a kid. Like all the kids were going to like down here. I think most people go to the shore, the beach. Up there, people go to lakes, rivers, ponds, and everybody has a
right.
cabin on it, right? Like that's your second home. It's just like a little, usually has
Your
an
getaway.
outhouse.
Yeah, like your beach
and
house. but
all
it's
the
your
kids
cabin.
would go to their parents or their grandparents or their aunts or uncle, whoever didn't have a parent there. We'd go up on our dirt bikes and our quads, and we just drink beer all weekend and hang out and go swimming.
Simple
and
life.
Simple
Yeah,
life.
but that's when you guys get into
Nobody-
weird shit. You're huffing potpourri
Yeah.
or like shit because you don't have the real drugs.
Bro, we were
They're
drinking-
doing like the
We were
cool
drinking
lube
like
or whatever.
Boone's Farm. Anybody remember
Yeah,
Boone's
yeah,
Farm?
Boone's Farm. Wow.
Farm.
Yeah,
But nobody really did anything. You know, we weren't breaking shit. We weren't doing. Now heroin is a major issue with that.
Up there?
Heroin's a major issue, bro. It's crazy.
Well, it's
that shit
everywhere. It's
wasn't
fucking
around.
everywhere, man.
So everybody's locked. Cause people up there, kids are breaking into houses and cutting all the copper out and selling the copper to go buy heroin.
Oh yeah.
It's crazy.
The
Town around here, really.
The town I grew up in, I mean, it's all $1 million homes. You can't get a home for less than probably $700,000-800,000. There's methadone clinics all over the place.
It's crazy, man.
Just all over the place. You know, 'cause
Such
it's
an
the epidemic
epidemic,
of, you know,
Yeah.
the debilitating pain issue with this country
Right.
because everyone's in pain.
Everybody.
And here we are.
They say honestly, a lot of these people they don't do it. Well, they do it to get high, but it's because they're depressed.
Yeah.
Our
bet,
lie,
yeah.
the
you think
rat
it's-
race is what makes people depressed.
Right.
We're not that far off in age. I know you guys joke that I'm the old man, and I am. But do you
I
think
mean-
it was easier to grow up when we were kids than it is for kids today?
Yes,
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
You
I
weren't
do.
held accountable so much
Right.
now. Like if you
Right.
do
Well, I
something
mean,
now and you get
I just
posted
feel like
and
there's
all
just too
sorts
much stuff to incriminate you.
Well, not only
now.
that, societal
Like,
norms.
like when
Like,
you
I
were
don't-
young, you can kind of like be free in a sense because you did some dirt. There ain't cameras, and not that you have to go do dirt to kind of be free, but I mean, you know, people you didn't have an eye on you all the time.
I agree, and also societal pressures. Like I wasn't a debonair dresser when I was a fucking kid. I went to school in Wranglers and
No
five.
one cared.
Now kids got to have top-notch
Yeah,
stuff, or they're
yeah.
alienated,
Right.
they're bullied, they're
And
feel.
think about like the biggest thing we were kids, you'd find the porno in the woods. 'Cause
Yeah.
It was always in the woods. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You find, and that was the
It
big
was,
like, who?
dude, it's
Why,
so
why was it
funny,
always
bro.
in the woods?
I have a great story.
So
That
true.
Did you ever catch him jerking off in the woods? No.
No,
But the porno was always there. It was a dumping
but I had a
site.
story.
But that was the biggest thing. Now,
Because it was all dads getting nervous their stash was going to get found, so they'd hike up in the woods behind the house and throw it in the woods, and then their kid finds it a week later.
I'll never find it
'Cause
here.
Kids find everything.
Well, I'll never forget Frank, my old man, took us to a job site for work on a Saturday. Me and my stepbrother. I had to be 9, 10 years old. You know, we helped my dad with some pipe. We actually had to help him too. Help him. He's by himself working, And then whatever, we're done. We just bounce in the woods. We're running around the woods and we find fucking porn stars. Of course, like these like half weathered fucking pages.
Yeah.
We freaking fold them up. I put them in my pocket. I tell my stepbrother, I was definitely the fucking the
currency,
leader. I was
son.
the leader. I'm like, yo,
Boy.
don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. And then we're sitting there. We're driving back and we're just like, we're so fucking quiet. He's like, what the fuck? What's going on? What's going on? And I guess, I don't know if I did or he did. We're like, well, we found these. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, I don't care, bro.
You
Come on.
strategically folded it so you didn't fuck up the titty pic. Like, there you go. Right. Yeah. But my dad was a mechanic, so I'd go to his shop all the time and hang out. And you go to the bathroom dude, it's stacked in all like the 3 for $10 porn that they do, like the remotes in her. You're like, oh my god,
the remotes in her.
I'm a grown adult and it's fucking with me. I can't even look at that.
When you're a kid, you can jerk off to anything. When you're a kid, you literally can jerk off. Remember those Adam and Eve's, it's like sex toys? I used to jerk off to that. And it'd be like, the chick would have like nipple tassels off. I'd be like, I can get it done to that. Bro, my grandmother's house. My grandmother's house. God rest your soul, Grandma. I love you. You're my favorite grandmother.
Off at Grandma's
National
house?
Geographic, bro. Them saggy titties down. I'm like, I could get, it was a little harder to get it done, but I could get it done.
Assy elbows.
Bro, I could get it done. I could get it done. I get it done to almost anything.
Hey, why not? Especially at that age, right?
Yeah, when you're young, bro, you can jerk off to anything. Anything.
It's all new to you.
Yeah, it really is.
But think about it now, kids. You have freaking unlimited free porn of the craziest shit. And,
It is, too,
Like
man.
my daughter.
It's almost confusing.
My wife started watching a stupid show on Netflix. They're like speed dating through a wall. They can't see each other or something like that, right? So I guess my daughter somehow started watching it on her phone. So they were driving to the cheer thing the other day, and it was like a 2-hour ride there and back. So she was watching this show on her phone, and my wife knew because she went to go watch it, and she saw a bunch of episodes were watched. So it's like a love show, you know, and they're talking about, I don't know, getting married.
I saw the preview
and
for it, yeah.
whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of stuff. And it's probably not crazy, not watching porn, but I'm saying my wife fucking flipped out. I can't believe you watched that. You're too young for that and all this stuff. But like, that's the stuff now. You're going to be 10 years old thinking about, she's going to probably be thinking about emotions and this and what do you mean by that? And what, you know what I mean? Like this stuff that we, you know, you wouldn't come.
I watched it. I feel like I watched everything when I was a kid.
There's some crazy concepts now for TV shows, for everything, because people will do anything nowadays.
For
Nothing
sure.
fucking people won't
And
do.
everything
There's no
has been
moral
done.
fabric.
Everything's
People,
been
I think
done.
everybody would have always done it. Now there's just a camera to film them.
maybe.
Yeah. But these
don't know.
people, this show, I watched half of it with her, and I'm like,
I
they're
don't know
literally
that
speed
I
dating to a wall. They can't see each other, and they're proposing to each
totally
other.
agree with that, because
Yeah.
in our grandparents' day, people stayed married for 60 years. How are you going to stay married to somebody that you never even saw? You met through a fucking wall, speed dating, and you met, like,
Right.
that shit didn't happen.
How
back
about
then.
arranged marriages, though? That's kind of like the same shit, right? Arranged marriages, people stay together forever.
That's a religion thing, though,
A lot of
Usually,
times,
yeah,
A
usually.
lot of times.
where you can't break it or you get.
I guess you can. No, I think you can. I think you can get divorces when you have arranged
I
marriages.
suppose.
Brought up knowing that it's going to happen first of all, so that would make
Yeah, but still, you don't know who it's going to be.
Right.
You don't know who, though. You know you're going to get arranged with somebody, but you don't know that. You
it's-
don't know
it's going to be his daughter.
Yeah.
And be like, I hope he fucking
Yeah.
pops out a good one, right?
No, I don't even think
Yeah.
that. No. From what I know from the people that have arranged marriages, they have a pick.
Oh, really?
In this culture, the man has the pick.
Oh,
What
okay.
culture? Because that's the Muslim, the Jewish, no, maybe not Muslim. I'm sorry, Jewish, definitely, right? There's arranged marriages.
Muslim culture.
Is it Muslim too?
Yeah.
Okay, so
The men have the pick of the wife.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. That's the
not
way
a
it
bad
works.
gig, and she just has
She
to go
gets
with
he
it.
got to pick, between
just
like
gets to go
3
with
different
it?
cousins or something, maybe something like that.
Might have the best policies of any of it. Am I right though?
It's not bad.
Multiple wives. They
Yeah,
have
yeah, but do you really want multiple wives?
I don't,
know.
not
man.
American wives.
Yeah.
Wives that I can hand pick, and they're like cool. Yeah.
No,
Wow,
but
like,
in that way, like if you have multiple wives, if you do it for one, you have to do it for the other. So anything you do for one, like if you have sex with one, you have to have sex with the other.
God forbid.
what's the polygamous community in Utah? What are the Mormons? Right,
Mormons,
Mormons, yeah.
They can have numerous wives.
Well,
I don't
not-
think
not
here
anymore.
right? The ones in Mexico can.
Yeah,
They went
yeah.
to Mexico.
Oh, not anymore. Why?
They just outlawed in the U.S.
Not by the church, probably by
Not by the church, but by
state
like
law.
the state. Yeah, you
Okay.
can't
Yeah.
have more than one wife. Yeah,
Way too much fun. They're like,
Wow.
nope.
Yeah,
You
shut
can't
it
do that,
down.
right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is. That's what it is.
way too much fun or misery. Depends how you look at
You
it.
wonder, yeah.
No way. I wouldn't want that. Would you want
But
that?
you got to think, three
No.
of them. Listen, you have three. If you have 3 wives,
Listen,
they're all
this
gonna
is
compete for
what
your
I heard
affection, your
too. This is what
attention.
I
They're
heard
all
too.
gonna be,
Listen,
you know,
this is what I heard too. No names. You with the Muslims or whoever, say what, I don't know if it's a Muslim, but anyway, You could have multiple wives. I asked. Okay, you can have multiple wives. Can you get them all at once? No, you cannot. What the fuck's the point then?
Well,
I'm all at once. I want to stack them up. Bap, bap, bap.
let's say you got.
It's like Fred Flintstone, right?
What do you mean?
It's an easy elimination. Let's say you got 3, right?
Okay.
The first one's pussy smells like Chris's first girl. you got 2 and 3 still to go, right?
You're still good to go. But you got to do for one. You got to do for all of them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Right? You gotta eat this box.
I still think there's a chance Chris might have gone down on that girl. There's a chance.
You still got the smell in my nose.
Breath still lingering. All right, hey, we didn't talk about the well, it's kind of a different segue, but we didn't talk about the female fight. And
Okay.
Yes, great fight. Best fight of the night, by the way. Did that get fight of the night?
Wiley Zhang.
Should have got fight
Wiley
of the
Zhang.
night.
Yeah, it did, 100%. And Joanna Jacek.
Amazing fight.
That night, they're like, oh, it's the best girls fight. I'm like, bro, that might have been one of the best fights I've ever seen,
for sure,
period.
man.
I mean, they didn't stop throwing the whole time.
Man.
They didn't give an inch. That's what I'm saying. Like
Right.
when one person got a little bit, the other person came back. It was like if there was a ball in the middle, like
Right.
the whole time.
Both
And stayed in the
warriors.
middle.
Absolutely.
Like
yeah.
they both stayed in the pocket to the point where that's why Joanna's forehead was a mess
Dude,
because she was
holy
just lowering her
shit,
chin and
bro.
just boom boom.
She was
and
like
throwing.
Megamind.
She
Man.
looked like a freak at the end of
Megamind.
that fight. Yeah,
Man.
like a freak. I've never seen anything like
yeah.
it. But I give her mad props for she didn't back down an inch. And I thought,
Did you
I thought in
think
exchanges, because Joanna is so much longer range, I didn't see the span on them, but she looked so much longer range.
I think she is.
And she's such an outside great striker, or unorthodox striker. I thought that she would beat Zhang up, but I thought Zhang was more of a bully, would get her in the corner and
Right.
pressure her and
that girl. She throws while you're throwing with zero regard for her
Zero.
own head, man. She
Zero.
was hitting
Who?
Joanna.
Zhang.
She was hitting Joanna with those
Yo,
hooks.
I felt
because
like she
was
wasn't moving her head, and then in the middle, like probably first 3 rounds, and then 4th and 5th, she started moving her head. But she don't move her fucking head, dude. That's why she was so hittable.
No, but that's why.
But
she's
she's
there
got
to
a chin
counter
and a
like
half.
Dude,
man, and she
crazy.
believes in her power because you get and to stay in front of somebody like that, you got to believe. Hey, I'm gonna hit you. You're gonna hit me, but you're gonna.
I think Joanna definitely I mean, I don't know what the comp strike was, but to me, it seemed when I was there live, it's always different on the live.
Right.
But I felt like she was landing more. She was more active.
Yeah.
But Zhang, when she hit her, she snapped her head back.
You could see that.
But I don't know. Like I
See,
thought it was 2-2, and then
so
I thought
close,
I don't know,
right?
so
think
close.
The difference
so
is
close.
you were there, you watched it, you probably watched it. I had my kids, so I woke up the next morning and watched the highlight reels where you just see
The
you
good
know,
parts.
just
Dude,
the best parts.
the
And
whole
that's
fight,
why
the
I
whole
thought
fight.
the Yoel Israel fight was probably better than what you
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
because
yeah.
I just watched the highlight reel.
The
Wait,
highlight,
like-
honestly, the whole fight could have been a highlight reel.
Yeah.
It was honestly that action packed.
Insane. But like the way what's her name? Yang?
Zhang. I'm
Zhang,
calling her
whatever.
Zhang. I'm probably pronouncing
But
it
like
wrong.
every time Joanna would throw the front kick, she was stepping through the kicks with a right hand. Like
How
she
about
was
how
just
about
no
that
regard for
that left
you know.
high kick though with her toes? She caught
yeah.
Zhang with.
Yeah, she did.
And like throughout every round, you were like, all right, well, I think she's winning now because she just had that little moment.
Yeah,
and all of a
I
sudden,
know.
oh my god, oh yeah.
But
It should've been a draw.
speaking of the coronavirus and that fight, that was her whole post-fight speech.
But you
when
know
she
what
was
she
in the
went
ring.
through?
Was it?
It was
I-
all
I-
about
I
the.
could-
Well, she had an interpreter who really couldn't get it together for a couple
No,
minutes. When
yeah,
he finally
yeah,
got it
yeah.
together, it was about the coronavirus. He wanted to say, "Listen, we got to all come together." I like her. She's a humanitarian. I
She
love her.
seems pretty cool. Seems pretty cool. Got a good
And
personality.
granted, it's a much bigger issue in China, obviously, than we're
Right,
dealing with
right.
over here. But that was.
But I think on the strength of that, and obviously you're not going to. It was that close where it could have went either way. I think that they could use it. You know what I'm saying? The Chinese people right now.
What-
You know what she went through to get to this fight?
She went to Thailand, then she went to
Yeah, she got
Dubai.
quarantined in Thailand for a couple. She went
Yeah.
to Thailand, then they quarantined her, then she flew, and then got quarantined in the States again.
No,
So-
Dubai. She went to Dubai.
Oh,
for a little-
Dubai.
yeah.
But these were weeks on end where she
Right.
couldn't do what she really had to do
Right.
before the biggest fight. I mean,
I'm sure she was training and all that stuff, but still traveling within those time zones had to be
Right.
tough.
You
Do you think she'll end up transitioning over here and training here? Most people do.
I don't think. I mean, I don't know. They just built some huge UFC PI in Shanghai. Supposedly it's 3 times bigger than the one in Vegas.
Really?
The one in Vegas is incredible.
Wow.
So I don't know. I mean, obviously for now,
But no,
yeah,
do
imagine she'll stay
any
over here.
fighters train full time at the UFC? I thought that was more of a place where you go visit.
No,
train
there are
is-
guys.
there are guys.
The PI is not like there's no
Who
coach.
trains there full time?
I don't know, but like
you
guys
bring your own
usually
coaches
they
there.
don't
Okay.
usually train there full time.
Right.
Some people like Joe Benavidez, I think he does, but he has guys that he goes to Extreme Couture or stuff at other places.
Gotcha.
You got
But
some
like
guys
yeah,
in
you bring your own coaches there and use the facility. That's
Right.
pretty much what it is.
But like when you're there,
You could use their strength coaches and their dietitians and all that stuff. But you have to bring your own skill coach.
Do you think they're going to run that fight back? I think they should. No,
They are from what I hear. Yeah.
Next?
Yeah.
Next fight?
I don't know about next fight, but soon.
But, no, I'm saying not next card.
No,
but their next fight will be
Benavidez and that guy. Figueroa.
I thought you were talking about.
No, I'm talking about Joanna
girls.
and
Yeah,
Zay. Are they going to run that back?
I thought you
They
were talking
should.
about that.
I think Joanna deserves another shot at that. No,
I don't know. It's gonna be tough
I don't know.
So close, man.
because she fought for the title or she lost the title. I don't know. It's just tough.
She was. I mean,
It was a great fight. It was a great fight.
Who else is in that division that's going to
Rose.
Rose, true.
I can see that.
Yeah, Rose a bad.
But
She's bad, bro. She's bad.
Joanna go from her being.
Rose was winning that fight until she got dumped on her head.
Yeah.
She was so winning that fight.
Yeah,
And if this chick thinks she's gonna stand with Rose, it's gonna be. Rose knows how to stay long.
Yeah,
I
she
don't think she's gonna get into
Rose
that.
is so impressive.
Rose's got great jiu-jitsu too.
Right. That's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
That's true.
But that was one of the best fights of all time. Doesn't matter, women,
Yeah,
man. Technical, hard, stamina. I mean, fuck.
I thought just the will. The will is what impressed me the most, man.
They
didn't. As soon as one thought they gave an inch, they fucking came back and got it back.
Remind me of the fight that kind of put the UFC on the mat. Forrest Griffin versus.
Right, but again, now that
Stephen
was a great
Bonner.
fight, but a slobber knocker. You could have saw that outside of in Seaside.
Fair.
These girls,
Fair.
all the way 24
Fair.
minutes into it, were sharp.
That's a fair analysis. That's a fair analysis.
That was a great fight, but.
Well, they're more polished athletes now too. That was a while ago,
sure,
but yeah, that's a good analysis.
To see how far women's MMA's come,
amazing.
It's
listen, I am not disappointed in what. Honestly, from day one, I was like, I don't know what this is going to be.
Sure.
You know, I mean, listen, not to knock them, but you watch women's basketball, you watch men's basketball. It's like, you know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah, no,
but
for sure.
UFC is not.
Fight's
MMA
different, bro.
is not.
Fight's different, and women, I just feel like they got that bitch in them.
They
No
really do,
disrespect.
bro.
No disrespect. You know what I mean? But I mean, I can't fuck with my wife because of that reason. You know what I mean? they have that pride. Like
Go up tonight and fuck with your wife in that sailor outfit. I want to see who wins that fight.
I might do all right. I
like it.
But they have that woman pride. They have that woman pride, you know, like when they go against each other, and you can see it's on the line all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like Caitlyn,
dude,
right?
they don't fucking tap. You see their arms, they fucking let their arms bend. I'm like, what the? It's crazy.
I always bust Caitlyn's chops. I'm like, yeah, he did all right when I watch her fight. He did all right, but girls shouldn't fight. But like, dude, last time I sparred, I don't know how long ago it was. She snap kicked me in the face. I'm like, all right, I'm done with that. That's it. I'm done. It was great working out with you. You know, I was gonna talk shit from the outside. Now you got too good. You know.
Yeah, true. So true.
Yeah. I mean, I think when I first started fighting, it was never even heard of, let alone, I mean, shit. You would never even thought in a million years. I mean,
fight,
Pride used to do the craziest shit, and they would never, ever put women. I mean, it was just never.
Someone, you know, I'll let it go. I'll let it go.
There's some pretty girls that fight, too, that you would never think.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Lots of them.
For sure. I don't know if I could date a fighter, though.
Why?
I've never hit one of my kids, but I like to know that God forbid push come to shove, I fuck my wife up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be like, if it really, you know what I mean?
Hey, this girl gets behind me. So
that's what I'm saying,
put me
bro.
out.
No, it's not happening. Nope.
Oh man, I'd love to fuck my wife up. No, I'm just joking.
Never happening. Again, with you either. We were talking before in the kitchen. I said, on the front lawn, I think I give it to you. I said, here in the kitchen, I don't know, Frank. It's
Knives
a 50-50.
around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No. Oh.
Yeah, anyway, I mean, totally deserved fight of the night. I'm sure it got fight of the night. Again, I watched it the next morning.
It
just
did,
watched
yeah.
highlight reel, but should have.
And Joanna took it like a champ. How about that hematoma?
Dude, she looked like
They're
a
talking
monster.
about seeing Rockman and
No, I think
Dominic, it was so much worse. Bro. It was
no,
this,
no,
and
it was different.
over
It was
here.
different. It was
He had
different. It
one.
was different.
Her
Yes.
whole forehead was.
Yeah,
huge.
that
Well,
was-
why? You know why? Because you see her.
They were hitting with the end
chin,
swell.
and she's chin down, and those punches were coming. She wasn't
Right in
trying
the
to move.
forehead.
She was just
Right in the
taking them, and
forehead.
man,
Yep.
man.
It was crazy. It's like I thought her chin kind of went a little bit. She seemed like she had her chin.
Yes.
Money.
I think it was because of the weight cut thing. She was saying she had horrible weight cuts getting down there. Whatever.
Yeah, she looked really good. She was good at the weigh-in too.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
She had some bad weight cuts in her time.
I think it's.
Yeah.
I feel like, fighters always find a reason. Everybody does for losing. Doesn't matter what sport it is, I guess. But you ever think you just could have an off night? Like I just waking up in general and going to my job. Some days I'm way better at my job than I am other days.
Sometimes you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, you're fucking better
It just
than me.
It just sucks because your job's every day, so every day you get to do it.
Right.
Fighters, it might be twice a year, 3 times a year. So when you have a bad fucking day, that really matters.
Right.
You know.
Well, fair, but I like what you said, what you told your son. We don't make excuses. In this
No,
house.
no,
I like
never,
that.
never.
That's your job, is to show up on game day. There's so many practice fighters, right? Like to do it under the lights is huge. That's what it's all about.
What fight is the fight that you've gone into most injured, most or most depleted from a cut or
I've
like
never
just-
been injured, never been depleted from a cut. Injured, I'd probably say Stevens, maybe the Stevens fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
I blew my MCL, and then my back went out. I had to get epidural for my back. By the time fight night came, I was good to go.
Okay.
You know, I was treating both those injuries the whole time they were in camp.
Right.
But after that fight, my blew my MCL again in that fight. It popped, and then my back was a mess too. So I had to get epidural.
Do you feel it in the fight pop? Or you so
I
adrenaline filled? You don't.
I felt the pop in the
You
fight,
did,
but
yeah.
it didn't hurt. I just felt the pop, but
Right.
it didn't really hurt.
Right.
My back, I didn't feel till afterwards.
Yeah, that was a great fight. Yeah.
But that was probably the one. I mean, I'm always banged
There's
up.
always
Everyone is. There's probably I don't know anybody that comes in 100%.
This dude beat BJ Penn and he couldn't even fucking close his hand. You can feel his fucking he had
Yeah,
no
my
grip in his hand.
third fight in my right hand, I couldn't hold a broomstick in my hand.
Really?
It wasn't strong enough to hold a broomstick. Yeah.
Right?
Try-
Like
You
it's,
try it now? We'll try my broom.
Oh,
Sometimes-
like this?
yeah.
This, my fingers are really good.
All right, sailor boy.
people don't realize that, man. You see a fighter fight and you would just assume that they're 100% and feel good and everything's good at home and there's no financial trouble and whatever. But man, there's so much stuff that goes into your
It's almost like poker. It's like you can't you got to bluff, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
You
and at the end of the
can't
day,
tip
it
your
doesn't
hand.
fucking matter.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like you have a loss on your record, no one's gonna look back and say, "Yeah, he lost,"
Right,
but he's fighting with his wife, and he couldn't. No one
Right.
cares. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Unforgiving world, right?
Let's talk about your fight career. Again, a lot of people.
Listen,
don't-
Chris. What Chris was a UFC vet. What
Yep.
what UFC did you do?
45.
45. I started in 67,
Damn, bro.
and that was in 2007. 45 is what year?
I was born in 45.
45 was.
2005.
Yeah, I think.
Who was that
I
fight
was
against?
20.
Go ahead.
Keith.
UFC 45. See the date. It was at Foxwoods, right?
Keith.
No, Keith Thurman?
No, Keith.
Rockwell.
Something like that.
Rockwell. No, not Rockwell.
No,
Fuck.
I don't know. It was
Rockford? Something like that.
Something
yeah,
along
yeah.
those lines. Yeah.
Raquel.
Yeah.
Raquel Pennington.
Raquel.
You fought Raquel
Raquel.
Pennington.
Yeah. I wouldn't fuck with her either. You know what I'm saying?
November 21st, 2003.
2003, bro.
Damn, that's fucking.
I think that was like
long
my fourth pro fight, and then I had a bunch of amateur before that one. You know,
So
Dude's an OG.
You've been around a long time. You're definitely an OG.
for sure.
Even though you
Look at
don't
him, he looks
fight
old
in
as
the
shit.
UFC anymore, you go to all his. You warm him up in the corner. What are the biggest differences you've noticed from 2003 till now with the organization? You notice any drastic changes?
Yeah,
Really?
a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
from when I fought. I mean, first of all, the entry level fight was 2,500, 2,500 was my.
Mine was
my
3 and
good.
3.
Yeah, so it wasn't too much.
Yeah.
Now it's probably 12 and 12 or something like that.
Yeah, I'd say about that. yeah.
Obviously, I mean it's huge now. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? It's
right.
huge. The opportunity so much more. I remember when I fought. I remember Matt Hughes fought Sean Shirk, I believe it was, and I think his page he made like 20 and 20. This was like his 6th welterweight title defense, and the money just wasn't there. You had
right.
you were doing it because you kind of loved it. You know
Now,
what I mean? Like,
the sponsorships at that time? Were you getting sponsorships?
very little, very
Right,
little.
right.
I got
Full
good
contact fighter.
full contact
Right?
fighter. Hit me up
Right.
with a couple hats for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Later on, when I would fight in AC and places like that, I got good sponsors. My brother was my manager. He always did good with
Yeah,
that, you know. But back then, there was very few sponsors. Even at that point, you know, probably a couple guys had little patches on their shorts. You know, it wasn't until like Frankie, a little bit after Frankie.
I think
guys
it's
started.
because we ended up on Spike. That's what happened. Started
Yeah,
to go
for
on
sure.
Spike, kind of on the TV. The Ultimate Fighter shows really blew it out the window.
Right.
That's really what brought it into like somewhat mainstream. Obviously, now it's mainstream. Back
Now it's
then, it
mainstream.
just started was the beginning stages of it. Say.
Now, I tell you what, now everything around the fighters get taken care of. Like the guys, now I'm in his corner and they have, you know, they always have food set up for you and they give you all this gear. Granted, you have to wear it and they charge him for it. You know what I'm saying? But like they just, you know, you could tell it's ran a little bit more professionally.
Wait. The Reebok gear they give you, they fucking charge you?
No,
for?
they don't
Part of
charge me, but
sponsorship.
like like how they say, oh, the money goes to the fighters. Well, it goes to the fighters by us clothing our team.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
But again, if I don't wear that Reebok clothing and they see me on camera, he gets fined.
Yeah.
No way.
It's like,
No fucking way.
But think about this too. Like,
Okay, so just back up for a minute. Explain that to me, because everybody has to wear it, right? Because they came in, they did away with everybody's endorsements. Brandon Shaw was a big proponent, saying you're taking money from the fighters.
How much did you make when you won the title? 80,
Close to
90,000
close to that.
in patches.
Yeah.
To a
Patches,
$5,000,
T-shirts, wearing a
$7,000.
shirt. Yeah.
So substantial amount. If
No,
you're
now they give you
upper
about
echelon.
if you're the main event, I think it's like 30.
But Reebok also has the right to individually sponsor athletes, right? Fighters.
Yeah, I don't even know. I think they do. Habib, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Maybe
That's it?
Connor.
I was gonna say I thought Connor.
Yeah.
Listen, this system.
Maybe a couple.
And this is how they kind of sold
no,
it.
because I see commercials with a bunch of them. But who's the hot chick, cheerleader chick?
Page.
PVZ?
Paige Van
No,
Zandt,
I
yeah.
don't think so.
She does commercials for him.
Oh.
It's like this. With this system now of the sponsorships, it's better for your lower level and entry level UFC fighters, because now you don't have to search for these little companies to put a patch and am I going to get paid and all this other stuff.
right.
You know, the money's guaranteed. But for a guy like Frankie, who had a name for himself, he was turning people down to be on his shirt and his shorts. It's a huge hit. It's a huge hit. I mean,
Well, if you get anybody, for people out there, sponsors, companies, anybody wants to sponsor us and show them the shorts again. Anybody wants to put us a
he will
patch
wear
on
these in
his
the ring
shorts.
for his next fight.
We got both butt cheeks are available. So. Blue Boy magazine. If you want.
Listen, you know what? Roger is Mr. Tattoo Guy over here. He said he will tattoo his logo, your logo, on his body.
Yes,
For a small fee.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what? My original gym that I first started, I was right next to the store to a tattoo parlor, so I used to hang out with the guys. And the one guy was like, his scam with the strippers. He would go, "Hey, I bet you I have your name tattooed on my dick." And they'd be like, "Get out of here!
Did you
Get
just
out of
say
here!"
your name?
It said your
Yeah,
name. Yep.
a
Yep.
lot of people.
They fucking they would do like
I had a buddy
tattoo inside their lips.
Yeah, I had a buddy that
and
tattooed a smiley face on the head of his dick. Did it himself. I'm like, bro, you got issues, dude.
crazy.
Yeah, no,
crazy.
not for me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. But yeah, I think the zoo, the Fertittas did a good job of kind of packaging all this stuff up together and making it look great to buy for the $4 or $5 billion or whatever it was. But
crazy
now,
money.
at the expense of the
Now, do you think part of that deal, I don't know if this is public or not, part of that deal that Dana had to stay on, had to or chose to?
I think he had to for a certain.
I think
amount,
he
chose
loves
to.
it. Dana
Yeah.
loves it, man.
Dana's
This is Dana's
fucking
world.
best at this.
No,
I mean, he
Dana's
started
world.
it. He survived all the tough years before the Fertittas got in. I mean, he
Yeah.
No.
went up-
Him
went-
and the Fertittas bought it.
Yeah,
okay,
they
wait,
bought it.
before he went up against Governor McCain and stuff, that was Fertittas were involved then?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Oh, I didn't know
bought
that.
it. The
No,
Fertittas bought it.
McCain was in it, but McCain I think was talking about it even before.
Well, remember 37 and a
McCain
half or
tried to
something,
shut
right?
him down
Was your
in
first show, 37?
early 80s? What? Lou, Google.
It's not the 80s. 93
No.
it was the first year UFC came in.
Was it really?
Yeah, 93.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
93. I feel like I've been watching that shit for, all right, maybe, possibly.
Mm.
But anyway, I
Since
thought.
college. You went to college in 93.
Yeah, no, I didn't go to college. I thought he was the originator and then brought the Fertittas in because he almost went bankrupt after McCain tried to shut down the UFC.
No, I think that was before. I think McCain came around before them, human cockfighting, all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Cruel and unusual.
Maybe
when,
it was around the same time. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but I know
What was the
that
original? Like
Campbell?
Seika
Something
or
Campbell?
Something like that? No, it was like the name of the company was like
No.
SCC or SEC. The original.
I thought it was always UFC, but they used to have that strongman. on
Yeah,
that
no,
type
that's
of
when
thing.
that's
yeah,
before
UFC.
Zuffa bought it.
Yeah.
yeah. And then Zuffa, Dana's from Boston. He went, but he lived in Vegas. I don't know. He was
Wait,
from
Dana's-
Boston, lived in
Dana's
Vegas.
From Maine,
He-
no? He bought the whole block where his grandmother lives. I know that.
No, I think his family's from Maine, but he was raised in Boston. He was raised.
Definitely
I don't know.
got a lot of family in Maine. Where I grew
I
up,
think he has family in Maine.
Bangor,
yeah,
Maine.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he
really?
has,
Really?
yeah.
He bought the whole fucking block, bro. Literally
Yeah.
bought the whole fucking block.
Did he
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, it's awesome.
But he met Lorenzo and Frank Fertitta. They all went to Gorman Bishop, which is a private school in Vegas. They all went to that school together. They became obviously good friends. He seen the opportunity because UFC was selling. They went to UFCs. They were a fan of the UFC before they bought it. Then they realized it was for sale. I think for $2 million. They bought it together. Dana said, "Hey, let's buy this. I think we can make something out of it." They bought it for $2 million, and they went $50 million in debt before they signed
they
that
hemorrhaged
spike
money.
that
They
spike
hemorrhaged
deal.
money.
And once the spike deal, that's when it all turned around.
Yeah.
That's the story I heard. But No, totally lost my train of thought now. I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, Lou, what do you got over there?
It started way before Dana White.
Way before Dana White?
Most fans assume it all started with Dana White, promoter in the face of
No.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Most people assume that Dana White was the
Yeah,
original,
no, 93.
the owner. He never.
He's the one that brought it to what it is.
He only owned 10%, correct?
Yeah. I think so.
10%, I think.
Huh? Colorado, yeah, Denver. Denver
Yeah.
was the first one, 93.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, in the beginning, my first MMA fight was in 1999, my first amateur fight. So back then, there was like 6 or 7 UFCs a year. We used to wait Sunday afternoon at 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The Pride replays would air. And
Pride
that's
was
when
real big. You know,
Pride
Pride
was
Yes, maybe that's what I was
huge.
watching.
Pride would
Pride,
pack
yeah.
80,000
Yeah.
people in an arena. And then when we went to
Right.
Japan for his fight,
Right.
it was not like it was forgotten about, but like it was nowhere where it was.
Isn't
in
it
the
weird
early
how
2000s.
now
It was
it's
amazing.
kind of now it's kind of coming back to that though
Yes.
with one
He fought on his card. Rampage is on your card, right? When we fought in Japan,
Rampage, yeah.
he was God in Japan at that
Oh,
point.
he
in
was,
Pride.
yeah.
And then when he went there, it was like
him
not like
Rampage and who was the other guy that they loved?
Fedor?
No,
Bob Sapp.
No, they love Bob Sapp. Bob Sapp lost every fight and they still loved him because
Bro,
he was such
he
a
was.
monster.
They had action
Randleman?
figures, bobblehead dolls.
Not Randleman. Fuck, what the fuck is his
Pro
name?
Cop.
Vandalay?
No. The fucking dude, they called him the Smasher or something like that.
Oh, Mark
Smash
Kerr.
Machine,
Mark Kerr.
in the
They
beginning,
love
yeah.
Mark Kerr. They love that guy over there, yeah.
They love
Well, he was
sauced
a
up,
UFC champ too,
sauced up
right?
Americans.
Yeah.
What's that?
Was Mark Kerr UFC champion
I
as
don't know
well?
if he was a champ before in the UFC. He might have. He might have been.
It was him and Coleman were buddies and they fought.
Yeah.
I think
That was the
they
best.
both
That
wrestled
was
for
the
Ohio
best.
State, right? Mark Kerr wrestled Ohio State? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think so too.
Dude, Pride was the best. Like, they would all be sauced out of the
You know,
mind.
hey, The Rock is coming out with a movie about Mark Kerr.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
is playing Mark Kerr.
Yeah.
No fucking way.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Smash Machine is a documentary about Mark Kerr. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
Great.
yeah.
You talk about how he's doing the
I saw-
drugs
I
and all
saw
that,
that.
New
Yeah,
Bane,
yeah,
all
yeah,
that stuff.
I saw it.
And now The Rock, his company, what is it called, $7 Productions,
Yep.
is actually producing a movie where he is playing Mark Kerr.
No
Wow.
shit, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I
pretty
remember
cool.
back in the day.
I wonder who the fuck you training with,
2000
The Rock? Who you training? Who's showing you
Yeah.
how to really throw them punches, boy?
But he never really threw too good, fucking Mark Kerr. But I remember
Yeah,
Boss
it's-
Rutan used to come and do seminars when I was, fucking 19, 20 years old.
UFC heavyweight tournament winner.
Oh, okay, so he did
Okay.
win it. But he would talk about Kerr and it's funny stories, man.
Bass Rutan too.
Yeah,
another,
Boss Rutan.
another G. Jeez,
Oh, that
guy's-
dude was.
He's
Boss
unstoppable.
Boss is awesome.
He's
And
fucking
now,
awesome.
Good
now
dude,
Boss is a
man.
little
So
bit
high
older.
energy.
And, yes,
so
but
high energy.
when he would come and do seminars, just before anyone knew who Boss was. So we would bring him down. This is fresh off of being UFC heavyweight champ and King of Pancreas. Just when he just retired from fighting, he was fucking wild, bro.
Yeah.
Ohio
doesn't-
State, right?
92.
Didn't you tell me Bass Rutan has something similar to what I have with the nerve damage?
He does.
It's in
He,
right arm
I
or
think
something?
one of his arms is actually a lot
Actually,
skinnier than the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that in my calf. Yeah.
He's been going down and getting stem cells though. I don't know if it's helping him.
Really?
Is
I
that
think
why
I'm-
your calves are so small? I know that's a
Just
sore-
one of them. Just one of them.
I know it's a sore subject.
Fucking dick.
So I obviously I listen to the podcast all the time, and I see the question come up a lot. Like, all right, if you and Frankie fought, what would happen? So now, hold on. I
Okay.
lived in Jersey my whole life.
Gotta give me the
Okay.
scenario.
There's
I
a
think I
lot
have
of places.
I think I
There's
got a shot in a bar. Like
That's
a
what
shot.
I was gonna say.
I got no
Where's
shot
this
in the
bar?
ring.
I've been in Jersey my whole life. I've never been to this bar. I've been fighting this kid for 15 years. I haven't found a spot yet to beat him up. If we can go to lunch there one day,
But my point is, bar fights get broken up really quickly. Right? They get broken up really quickly.
Thank you.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
good.
That's my point.
Okay,
I'm
I
never
get it.
going the distance with this guy
No,
ever. He'll
not
wear
at
me
all.
out.
Yeah.
But the average person would look at me and say, "A big guy."
They're not
Sure.
fucking with you.
It's
They're
not
fucking with you.
true. It's not true.
They're not fucking with you. No, but the average guy ain't fucking with you most. I
No,
go
right.
to
That's why
places where if
bouncers
someone
are
doesn't
huge.
know me, they push me aside. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And I don't give a fuck either.
Right.
I'm pretty cool unless I'm drinking.
Right.
But I'm here to tell people that don't understand. I think I've said this on several podcasts. Listen, man, we're in a world where size does not. I mean, it does to some degree. You hit
Yeah,
harder.
right.
You have more leverage. It does to some degree. But if you're talking just a regular average human, well, listen, I've been in a bunch of fights, a bunch of street fights, but it's a whole different.
But size
fucking
does
game.
matter, dude. Because
I
you know
just said
what?
it
Like
does.
they're
It does.
like
Leverage
if
and
I can
size
fight with a
and-
guy my size, I could probably let him hit me maybe once or twice, 3 times.
Right.
I can't let you hit me.
But that's
many
why
times.
I said I got a shot in a bar. I got a shot. I got no
Right.
shot in a ring.
Yeah, nah. Well, and you know, you know, people. Not saying you.
He's gonna take me down, bro.
Well, even outside of all that, like. Not saying you, not that you're saying this in any way, but for people, and you get this in the gym a lot. You know, guys are training for a fight, and you got 5 rounds. We're gonna stack 5 guys against you, and then in your 5th round, this guy gets a takedown, and he's going, I fucking took Frankie down, or I took down this guy. You got to understand that, like, it's almost a smack in the face to think that I could step in and beat up. Like, people ask me, I train with him all the time, can you beat Frankie up? No. And if I can beat him up, he needs to fucking retire. I mean, Jesus Christ. He does this every single day. Right. So, you know, for people to be like, it's like, could you play basketball with a fucking, that's what it is. You're playing basketball with an NBA player.
But the tide's turned, right? Because you had an earlier career than him. You were probably better, at least on the mats, than him. No.
Oh, I beat him up for the first probably 6-8
so
months.
The tides,
glorious days.
The tides turned.
Yes,
the student became the teacher at some point, right? Yeah.
I'm hoping that his body breaks down and we get those days back.
Yeah.
No, but it's just. Yeah, you realize that, especially if you train a length of time and you see the levels of different people. Regular people is not, anything can happen. Fuck, I mean, but
it's funny. You know what? Like someone said, the less you train, the tougher you think you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't get humbled. You don't get
the more you train, the more you know. Holy shit, I'm not that fucking tough. Right. You know what I mean?
See, like I said, I was a pretty troubled kid and always, it's the derelict. So when I first learned how to fight as a kid, it was like, oh shit, I know how to do this. It was like a pickup game of basketball. I wanted to fight everybody. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna try this. But then you get to a certain point, you realize what potentially can happen in a fight. Now it scares me to death. Like, I get guys at work, these guys that live off fucking buttered rolls and Newports, and they, let's go outside. Have you ever been outside? Why are you so quick to run outside? Like, you guys, are you kidding me?
No, it scares you. Like, you ever grab somebody like on the shoulders and you're like, if I hit this dude, I might kill him.
It's fucking Jello
for real.
mix.
Like I pick this dude up and throw him on the ground. He might not get up. Yeah. It's scary.
People, for whatever reason, when it comes to fighting, you'd never go to a basketball game and be like, I could play with the fucking Knicks. Look, I can do that. But for some other reason, people sit in the stands at the fights and say, I can do that.
It's not people. It's just dudes.
Oh, yeah.
It's just dudes. Because it's what, listen, what do we put? We were inbred on this fucking earth to breed and fight. I mean, we fight each other to breed.
Yeah.
So
it's
and
like
in a way, even though it's not directed at you, you might almost feel a little like you get a little zing, like, damn, that dude could really fucking do what he wanted with me. You know what I mean? Like,
I totally agree with that. I hear it all the time. I don't say it because I understand, I get it, but it also bothers me when guys are implementing a game plan on the ground and they're the crowd is booing.
Oh yeah. Honestly, even bothered me when they were booing with Israel and Romero. It was the most eventful fight. Dude, I was on the edge of my seat. Edge of my seat. When he fucking threw that one punch, I'm like, oh, it was nuts. Bro. I mean, listen, nothing happened. It wasn't as entertaining as it could have been. I think that's why maybe they were booing, because the potential of that fight could have been crazy. Right. It didn't really pan out to be that. Right. But the fact that you're booing, like, you can't boo, man. Right, it's just, these guys are putting it on the line right here.
And you got to remember,
Dan Bilzerian, I think, posted something that said something like, anybody that boos a professional fighter should get a $150 fine.
Yeah, you're right.
It's fucking true.
You're 100% right.
Well, I was there. He was sitting right next to him. Well, we're about the same size.
I know, he's not a big dude.
Not a big guy.
He's not a big dude.
He's not jacked?
He's pretty jacked. He's pretty jacked.
He's in good shape. His beard makes him look bigger.
But dude, he was wearing like he was wearing like a, I don't know, it was just funny, man.
Yeah.
He got
He wears those outfits like, I'm rich enough to wear these outfits.
He's killing it, bro. That dude kills it.
Listen, I'm sure he makes his own money now, but he comes from money. His dad's rich.
Is that right, though?
Yeah. His dad's loaded, no, I hate on Dan. He lives a fucking blessed life, man.
But didn't he win a bunch of money though, gambling?
Yeah,
no, that's how I think now he's self-sufficient. He fucking probably buys all his shit on his own, but he definitely comes from money, no question about it. Yeah. He's got some great stories. I like the dude, but Dan,
he seems like the type of guy.
Don't forget me in the next pool party, bro.
He seems like the type of guy that like just got the money. We're like, if you could do anything, what would you do? Put alligators in my pool. All right, fuck it, let's do it.
It's like Deerdick with his fantasy factory.
Yeah. But Dan Bilzerian's a guy who made it and never got married, and that's why he can have fun. Right? He's not like fucking poor Biggie hanging on the rope and she's ripping him down.
I don't think he has kids either, right? No.
I don't know.
No.
Yeah, he lives the life, man. But I think it's a legit life. It's not like that Colby Covington where he's paying chicks to get in the hot tub with him. I think
that's all an act. He knows it's an act. Come on.
Probably very unfulfilling, though, right? He doesn't have like emotional connections to these women and
Who?
Dan Balzerian.
Yeah. What are you saying?
Bro, what is your wife? What is your wife? Is your wife listening? What the fuck was that?
Chris, he's not married to his best friend.
I am married to my best friend unless I get an invite to one of them parties. then we'll talk about it.
You know Jess ain't listening to this shit, bro.
listens
This
to
guy
this
wouldn't be talking this brave, I promise.
Yeah, shit.
If listen, I'm not married anymore, so I'd probably go. Although I'd definitely lose my girlfriend. But would you? If you got invited, would you go?
I'd have to. I would put everything on him.
Yeah,
Like,
just
if Frankie's going, I have to go.
I gotta go. If Frankie doesn't
Hey,
want to go.
I don't
hey,
want to go. I'm like,
Hey, I'm trying to network and you know.
feed my
kinda-
family. Come on,
my-
man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
trying to
This
feed
is
my
all
family.
because I'm trying to provide
doing
for
chicken
our,
fights in the
our
pool. I
livelihood.
knew her, and she's got connections. What I'm actually trying to get him to do is go to Dagestan and do a seminar, and I'm gonna
do that. We're gonna do. You know what? I was actually I was talking to B about it, and I'm talking about bringing
What are you-
Tino. I want to bring Tino.
That would be awesome.
Well, wait. Dagestan is completely safe. It's not like a
Russia.
military.
Oh yeah, no,
okay,
100%
okay.
safe.
Although they're shooting fucking vacation
I mean,
jets out of the,
if I go out there, I'll go hang out with Tamor
Places.
and
Yeah,
Habib say no. He's like LeBron. If LeBron James walked into any basketball gym,
It's like
that's like him walking around
I
Dagestan.
believe it.
Amazing.
I believe it.
He's he's got 20 million followers on Instagram.
That's insane, man.
He is the biggest athlete in the Middle East.
And
The
this is what
biggest.
I'm saying when people say like
I think fairly so.
Yeah.
I think
I'm a super fan, man.
hell yeah.
He's
Such a humble
he's a good dude.
too,
He's a
man.
good dude.
Okay, so let's talk about this. And I've said this for a long time. I really think Tony is probably the only guy that actually has a chance of beating him.
This is definitely the most
I cannot
anticipated
wait to see
and
this
biggest
fight.
fight maybe in UFC history
I cannot wait.
because of how you're talking.
Right.
Of course, I'm biased. I'm friends with Habib and stuff like that, but I just think he doesn't make mistakes. Okay,
Right.
if you look at Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson,
We had this talk,
right?
and
You look at
everybody makes
Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson. Kevin Lee, remember, he had that staff that you talked about,
yeah.
right? Kevin Lee had him mounted at the end of the first round.
Right.
Khabib has no space when he fights guys. He doesn't give room for mistakes. If he has him mounted, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. But Tony is
For 25 minutes.
he's an anomaly too. He doesn't
Right,
get
but
tired.
Wait, Khabib has had people mounted before who've gotten up.
No, I'm not saying
Conor
that.
almost got up.
No, he's not mounted. Not mounted.
What it's like this though with Tony. He's like an opportunity. There's Darce chokes and all this stuff that he does. That
And
that's
his
awkward.
pace is unbelievable.
He's
Right.
comfortable on the
But
bottom.
with Khabib, it's not like you mess up one time and that's it. You're out of there. So you got to be straight for 25 minutes. Khabib is, I mean, he's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like.
Well,
You want to double down on the outfit bet?
Oh wow.
I'll take Tony.
I'm definitely. I will 100% take Khabib.
Listen, if I had to bet money, I'd probably put it on Khabib. But I just think what an upset that would be. And I think, listen, who else? If Tony can't do it, ain't nobody doing it. I think Tony has the best shot of anybody to beat Khabib. I do. I think that's his best challenge to beat.
It is the best, and that's why his fight's so intriguing. But I'm still gonna rock with Habib.
Okay.
Yeah, stylistically.
All right. So what's the bet?
Yeah.
Dress up again?
No.
We come up with something,
You're gonna
yeah.
fucking sit on some fucking needles or something.
For doing this to me, you kidding me?
Steve missed
Oh, well,
the fucking booty shorts.
We got to show him one more time for his guy, dude. And you got to put the tassel on and the hat and everything.
oh,
for
yeah.
Steven.
Dude, I had a hat. I had fucking gloves on.
With the-
like
we had the
fucking Mickey
freaking-
Mouse.
I was on Amazon for hours shopping.
I know, dude.
Some shit I just knew he would not fucking wear.
Dude,
So
you'll
I was
never
like,
take him serious again, Steve.
I gotta like get something. So I was like, I had him in group with Renee, and I'm like, will he wear this? Will he wear? I said like, he didn't say one fucking word. You know, I was like, he's pissed.
He's
fucking
pissed.
responded.
Oh shit.
He'll never be able to intimidate me again. I tell you what.
know what?
It's all I'm ever gonna see.
I'm like Popeye. I am what I
I'll be
am.
like, go ahead, choke me, pussy. I still see you in that outfit.
And you know what you is? He's about to be a meme on the UFC.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. It's all good. I ain't bashful. I'm fucking married. I got married with 3 kids. Who the fuck do I
I
care?
know, right? You kidding me? Game's over, right?
True. Well, I thought it was over. I had 2 kids, and it wasn't over.
Yeah.
Never
You
over.
diving back in now, huh? You gonna
No more kids. I mean, I'm back
going
in
back
the-
to Maine
I'm
and
back-
How do
marry
you
her
know?
on.
Wait.
back in the
You say
dating
no
pool.
more kids. How do you know?
I had a vasectomy, bro.
Oh wow.
We talked about it.
Wait.
We talked about it.
Dude, I get
You
hit
said
in the
you're
head,
never
bro.
doing that.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
fucking-
I'm not. Wait, we talk about it on the podcast?
Yeah.
Wow.
You shouldn't have put that out there. But then you know if she, if she came up pregnant.
Listen, I do a lot of things that mess his brain up. One of them's getting hit in the head.
Although he's sharp on freaking Jeopardy.
Listen, I'll fuck
Forgets
with you on Jeopardy, bro.
everything else, but Jeopardy.
He's done a couple questionnaires with me. He's like, see what you get right on this. And I'm like,
can you imagine?
bro, I don't know. He's like, I actually got them all. I'm like, yeah, really?
I'll come like before his fights. I'll come here, say Friday night, so we could spar on Saturday. That's what he's done. Ooh, what's Jeopardy?
He's an idiot.
Listen, Jeopardy.
What? There's no Matlock reruns on. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Jeopardy. I'm actually not bad. I'm not bad against you common folk. Okay, you common folk, I'll fucking dust you in Jeopardy. But the smart people, I can't.
Like who's smart people? Who can mess with?
I don't know any smart people. I don't keep smart people around
me.
He's
a mountain of useless knowledge. He's like, if anybody 65 or older, I'm gonna have trouble with. All right, but I mean,
Bill Rogers creeping on it.
Yeah, he's still got a job. You the only people that you can't mess with are retired people who can just watch nonstop episodes.
There are times where I think I'm an intellect and I'm a smart, and then I hang out with smart people and I'm like, I'm fucking dumb.
I'm smart in different ways. Different ways.
No, Chris is definitely he'll send me some texts and the spelling will be all fucked up. He's not like traditionally smart. Let's be real. Hey, you didn't go to real school. I'm not. Hey, I'm being. But Chris, I have the best conversations with Chris because we're into the same dumb shit, you know, like conspiracy theories and just anything, science. Like he's
aliens.
Aliens. He's a very curious person, and I'm kind of curious too. And
you should have been on the last show.
I was listening to it, and with you, you don't believe in spirits and aliens, but you're a devout Christian.
Did I?
He did say that. He did say that.
Like this story was around a lot longer. I believe that one.
I called myself out. I said, "You're not calling me out on this."
I know that's the truth. Yeah.
Very true.
You don't know what to believe. You don't know what a lot of stuff, and it's cool to be curious and to think that.
I did say though, religion is faith based. It's completely faith based.
For sure.
People that think they fucking have aliens come down and contact them and shit. Yeah, like, where's the proof? You know what I mean? That's not.
I mean, Also, think about religion.
But you need to listen to more stuff.
That's what it is too. When I say what podcast does Roger listen to? He doesn't really listen to podcasts.
No, I obviously listen to Rogan. I listen to a lot of conservative stuff.
Did you listen to one with Bob Lazar?
I'm gonna check out Bob Lazar.
And the guy, the fighter pilot who was talking about the stuff.
Yeah, like you say, you respect. That's the thing. Like, and Joe even said it. Like, you respect military people, right? Obviously, because. They're real people,
right? But again, what Rory said. Just because you're in the military doesn't
mean you're a good person. You're right.
Doesn't mean you can't be a liar.
For sure.
Agreed. For sure. But I mean, he has the accounts of these military people who know who and see flying stuff. And he said these guys seen stuff flying.
Okay, give me something other
than a story.
Give me something other.
There are supposedly videos. You want a video, but you just can't.
I don't want a grainy video.
Exactly. No matter what, nowadays you're gonna see any video someone produces, you're gonna say, that's bullshit. That's Photoshop. Right. There's no authenticity. There's no way to prove it. So it's faith-based as well.
No.
Yes.
When shit's real, shit's real. I mean.
So then what? Is religion real? Or is that faith-based? Well, that's faith-based.
I said I don't believe it in the traditional sense whatsoever. So no, I don't believe in the Bible word for word at all.
Right, the stories are lessons.
Yeah. Correct.
More than
correct.
Yeah. But now, what do you think when you look up in the sky? What do you think?
Oh, I think it totally can exist. I just don't think we've been there yet. I don't think we've been. If there's a galaxy inside every black hole, and we are.
Something has to be.
There are probably aliens all over the fucking place. Right. They just haven't got to us.
You don't think we got here, right?
Right. I mean, and if they're the super,
this is what I think too.
If they're the super intellects to be able to do that and travel through time and
time and space continuum,
right? All that sort of thing. They're not talking to us in clicks, and they're not speaking English.
No,
but they're fucking sending us clear, strong shit.
But they should be able to know how we're speaking.
But I'm saying,
how about this though, right? Okay, look, this is what I say. Like, they're talking about us have artificial.
M. Night Shyamalan movie.
No. Listen. But you know how they talk about how artificial intelligence is? They're afraid of artificial intelligence,
right?
On Earth, right? And what it could do to us, or it could maybe take us over. And what they say, like we're the living organisms.
Yeah, the caterpillar.
The caterpillar to the larva of artificial intelligence. Mm-hmm. If that's the case, then if these other civilizations that are so much more beyond us, they're probably artificial intelligence already then. What's coming to see us isn't a fucking living organism. It's a fucking computer.
You're talking about
right?
Plausible things. Plausible. Yeah, I believe that's everything, plausible. Yeah. I just don't think it's provable.
What's provable?
The man walking on water.
What's provable? What's provable?
What is provable? That you can drink water.
It's got to be like that for him. He's one of them. He's one of them guys.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool. It's got to be able to get in the back of my pickup truck.
Hey, listen, man. I can tell my girl I got a 9-inch dick all day, but she gonna know it ain't 9 inches.
Turn the lights out.
You know what I mean? Like,
No, but
the proof is in the pudding.
Right, for sure. No, for sure. Or like I heard someone explain it like this, and it makes a lot of sense. What if they're so advanced that they don't want to come here? Like, do you go and spend a day staring at an anthill? No, right? Maybe they're so
I have in my
advanced.
life.
Like, well,
I have in my life.
Well,
I mean,
here we go.
I
I'm saying up being a fucking fist
firecrackers.
fighter.
Put a lot of firecrackers in anthills just to see what happened when I was a kid.
For sure. You wonder though. I don't know so much, but I mean, I'm sure something's out there. Whether or not we
I totally believe it.
I don't know about the whole spirit thing too. I mean, if you follow the whole paranormal shows and all the they never found anything.
Do I believe?
It's like 100
do I
fucking
believe that
seasons
people
long.
legitimately think they experienced something? Yeah, I do.
For sure.
I think there's people that are lying and are just fucking.
I could tell you,
and I think there are people
Now,
that
okay.
legitimately think they.
Can I
experienced
tell you a
something.
Right
story?
now, do you think that they legitimately felt like they'd seen something, or do you think they legitimately saw something?
No, I think they probably had some mental breakdown
In a time of distress.
Like the first exorcism that was real, right? That's documented. Like a guy when she wasn't fucking spinning her head around and puking out green vomit like in the movie, but she truly thought she was possessed. I think that woman probably was having some sort of psychiatric breakdown and was maybe a manic depressant or maybe
fuck me.
Don't say that to me wearing that outfit. Bro, I will get you pregnant. And I've had a vasectomy.
When I come with the thunder.
Yeah. I don't know.
So yeah, listen. Admittedly, I'm a cynic of most things. I am because I feel like we live in a world of bullshitters, man.
For sure.
If I don't know you and know you pretty well, I don't believe most of what
Yeah,
you're
but would
saying.
you believe? Okay, if Lou came here and said, "Hey,
I've known Lou 20 years."
Okay, you know
Lou's
Lou
a street
20 years.
dude.
If Lou came to you and said, "A fucking ghost woke me up,"
Lou would never say that. And I
No,
would
what do you
say-
mean? What
He
do you
woke
mean?
me
What
up
do you
in a
mean he'll
sailor
never say
outfit.
that?
What
No,
would you
what do you
say?
mean he'll never say that?
He would never say it.
What if a ghost fucking comes and visits him tonight? I'm just saying.
I wouldn't believe him.
Exactly. So don't fucking matter.
But he would never say it. He's
What do you
a
mean
real-
never say it? What if it really
Lou,
did?
Lou, would
I'm
you
just
ever say
saying.
that?
Hypothetically speaking, a ghost really
I
came.
don't hang
Listen
out
to
with
me.
people like that.
Exactly. That's what I
don't
mean.
hang out with
That's what I mean.
people
So you'll
that
never,
lose
you will
Lou's
never.
number.
No,
That's
if that's
what
the
would
case.
happen.
If that's the
Not-
case. So
not
listen, no.
verbatim,
Listen.
no, I won't
listen,
believe
no,
a word.
exactly. No. So that's the case. Lou, you know, 20 years, you trust really well. Yeah. If he said, and he was 100% being serious, a fucking alien stroked his fucking whatever in the middle of the night.
Anally probed.
Yeah, anally probed in the middle of the night.
Poor
Right?
Lou.
You
He's
would
like,
say,
leave it
this
fucking alone.
motherfucker's lying, or he's fucking mentally ill.
I
So
would-
it doesn't matter.
I would-
So in other words,
I
no,
would
listen.
say, let's go to the hospital. We're going to have your asshole examined.
No, okay. So pretty much what you're saying is no
That
matter
would be
what,
proof.
you will never believe in aliens.
No,
then.
I would say, let's go to the
They'd have
hospital.
to
No,
poke
no.
his
You're going to
asshole.
have your
That's what
asshole
it is.
examined.
No,
and
no,
if-
no, I'm
if
not.
you-
No, not they didn't egg his asshole. He said a fucking alien said, "Hey, Roger's fucking wrong. I'm a fucking alien, and I'm coming to see you. You go tell him tomorrow that I saw you." And this guy that you know for 20 years, he said it to you.
I would
You're gonna-
call
what are you
his
gonna say?
wife and say Lou started to do drugs. And
There you go. So no matter what, you will never believe it. So it don't matter. You're just never gonna believe aliens exist.
Because there's no
The
chapter.
only
in the-
way is when
Because
the only
people are
listen,
bullshitters.
No,
Yes,
no. Roger
probably.
just wants to get anally probed himself.
No, because
before-
everybody,
He said, putting it out there. Come get me. Come get me when you want.
I watched a documentary last night on Lee Malvo, I think his name is, the shooter, the sniper shooter that was shooting everybody out of his
Yeah,
car.
right.
Oh,
A
the black guy,
guy,
the black guy.
yeah, a guy came
It's like
forward.
the first black fucking serial killer ever.
Ever. Yeah,
It
probably
was two
ever.
of them. There was a 17-year-old Jamaican
Yeah.
kid, and then Lee Boy Malvo.
Yeah, I'm on.
Anyway, long story short, they were sniping. They shot in like the course of like, I forget what it was, like 6 days. I
They
think
were
they
shooting
killed like
people at the
25
Walmart and
people
shit,
or something.
right? Yeah.
Anyway, a guy came forward and said, "Look, I saw the shooter. I saw what he was driving. It was fucking like something that serious. People make up fucking shit
In
all the
traumatic
time
situations,
just
they
to
say
capitalize
firsthand
on.
accounts are
Hey,
the worst.
look at me.
I'm not talking
look
about
at me.
that. I'm
No,
not
they
talking about
also
that.
say,
I'm
like-
talking about your buddy you know him for 20 years telling you he saw an alien.
I still think
and
that's
you
for
won't believe
I
him.
still think that's for attention.
What do you mean? Like,
I
What if
still
he brought
think
you to a
that's for
diner,
attention.
just you and him, like in the corner, like one of them setups? Not like, hey, not like he hit you a DM, hey, post this on your Instagram, but he like.
Listen, maybe, but I still
Listen.
think it's attention grabbing.
Dude, so in other words, you if someone other than yourself
Correct.
sees an alien, you're just gonna believe it doesn't exist.
Just by their word? Yeah, no, I don't believe it.
I hope an alien fucking rails you tonight.
Guess what? It's not gonna happen.
I probably think you're right.
Probably not.
But do I think of all the things we've talked about, aliens, it's more the shit that, like Loch Ness Monster and Bigfoot.
Right.
And
Yeah, but like I said, like Loch Ness Monster was probably some monster back in the day. They saw in there, not a monster, but some type of sea creature they saw in there.
No.
And they're like, oh, there's a Loch Ness Monster.
Or
That's how it probably started.
was landlocked
those
of some
stories
sort.
exist. You're talking about the sailors of old with the sea creatures, all that, and they're cracking. Those stories exist. That was way back. The Loch Ness Monster was footage. It was a black, grainy, white footage of some bumps in the water that people are like, it's a fucking Loch Ness Monster. It wasn't anything anybody that didn't want to really read into a situation would call a monster.
Right.
You would.
But again, with some of these stories, like how do you explain some of the stuff we know about? Like you, I know you guys talk about the pyramids, or you're talking about.
He thinks there's math
and
and equations, and Aristotle fucking figured out how to fucking put the pyramids together.
Fair, good one. You think fucking E.T. built it?
Yeah, listen.
Well, no,
I don't know who built
the
it.
Ekanaki or whatever your wife was telling me the one time.
Ekanaki, you hear about that? You know that? You know that? You know the Ekanaki? You know?
No, I don't know.
You never heard?
Sounds like a good sushi roll.
You never heard that? Seriously?
No.
They're aliens. They came down. They fucked the monkeys. So and
that's where AIDS
they made us.
That
made us. And that made us.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
So we have half DNA of monkeys and half DNA from aliens. That's why we could reason. We could do this. We could build stuff. How is that? How weird? They say dolphins.
What's wrong with just evolution? And us becoming smarter.
Listen, I'm just being. I'm just
what
fucking.
Did we build back in the day? A fire. That was about it.
Listen to this. How wild? All right. They say whales and dolphins. They're super smart, right? Right? They have their own language that we can't even decipher the language. Right. But they don't build shit. No. They don't make anything. They don't improve their lives in any way.
They don't need shelter. We do.
What do you mean?
We need heat. They don't need fucking.
We didn't need shelter, bro. We didn't need shelter either.
What do you mean? We can't live out in the elements.
Cave,
bro.
We need shelter. You need something.
That's shelter. We figured out
we don't have fur.
Hole.
Correct, and we built it. We didn't
build it. It was there.
Okay, you don't think dolphins had to worry about fucking orcas coming and kill them?
Now you're talking about like just the cycle of life and the hierarchy of. I'm saying
but
just
they do.
to live.
Listen, we had to worry about fucking lions and tigers killing.
Fucking discussion on the planet.
We had to worry about lions.
Listen,
we had to worry about lions and tigers killing us, so we built houses.
Right.
We did something to battle that. The dolphins, as smart as they are, they have a language that we can't decipher and we don't understand. But they can't build stuff to keep them from their predators.
Yeah, but maybe they don't have to.
Why?
They didn't evolve in that
Why?
way because they evolved different ways. They have sonar and they have
jump in a fucking pit at a zoo and you'll get eaten by a lion.
Exactly, but we don't. We stay away from it. We built a civilization where we don't have to be around them. Right. They can't do that. Because they don't have the reasoning and the thought process.
No, but their I guess natural defenses are to swim faster or be more agile. They get eaten too.
Exactly. We don't get eaten still.
They're not.
But look, they didn't have to adapt to their environment like humans did, right? We weren't always in this form, right? We weren't always.
And we adapted. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But they don't have to adapt.
That's what I'm saying. So the Anunnaki must be real because we have some.
Wait, that's what this all. That's going back to the fucking giants.
I'm fucking. I
didn't know he was going with this.
You do a lot of drugs, bro. I need to do drugs. I do.
Have you done them? Huh? Psychedelics? No.
No, but I want Frankie to take me down that road. Maybe I'll start believing more of this shit.
Yeah. Listen, you'll believe something, whether or not it's something
down.
from outside or if you just happen to put something.
They say it's open in the third eye, right?
Great.
And you just have
right for sure.
I want to do it.
Not your one eye. It doesn't open your one eye.
Brown eye.
Third eye.
Brown eye.
That's the kaleidopins open that eye, right, or whatever the hell they are.
I want to do it. No, I want to do it. We got to set that up sometime where
we can. We'll do it right in this room.
I'm down. And on camera?
No. Well, maybe we'll have a camera, but we won't broadcast it.
All right. I'm down. I want to do that. I mean, I've
done
the typical Jersey party stuff, but I want to do the psychedelics. I'm over the Jersey party stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are drugs.
Yeah.
You've done drugs, my son.
Psychedelics.
Psychedelics are not drugs. That's medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the club drugs that had you fucking doing the dancing.
Yeah.
Don't you know? Bump it up. You got to bump it up.
We dance at just crowd punching. Kicking and punching.
Pretty much. That's more mosh pit, but
no, it was the friggin' the club dance back in the day with the Guido club dance. The friggin' it would be the fist pump, and once the music get heavy, fucking crazy ass kicking in.
Yeah, I did all that back in the day, but those days are well done, and I haven't done drugs in a fucking decade. But the psychedelics interest me. They do, because I feel like, well, you said it, right? Don't they say it's rumored that most of the great inventors, the young people in Silicon Valley are all
microdose.
Supposedly all microdose,
right,
yeah.
right,
Supposedly a
sure.
lot of them, yeah, in Silicon Valley, they like the microdose.
For a multitude of reasons. First of all,
Supposedly
it opens
creativity,
but also you don't need to sleep as much, correct? It keeps your.
I don't know about that. I don't think that's good for you. I think you need to sleep.
Right.
I think sleep is important.
What was it? Beta blockers that all the college students used to take, right? It was beta blockers so they would focus better and.
Adderall.
I think beta blockers even is that a beta blocker? Adderall.
I don't know.
I think baseball players use that.
Yeah, that's
For
rampant.
focus.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's the fucking most boring game on the planet. You got to do something to stay in there for 9 innings and 180 games.
I could watch baseball before I could watch basketball.
Can you really?
What?
yeah.
You're
No
crazy,
way.
bro.
Basketball's
Basketball's
more
my
fast-paced.
sport. I
Listen,
think.
after a night like Saturday night with the UFC, like, how can you get excited about a Super Bowl or
Yeah.
No,
when
listen,
you?
for me,
It's just
I almost said UFC. MMA is top and always
Right,
has been ever
right.
since I was.
Yeah,
old
I'm
enough to get-
I'm a fight
and
sports first before anything,
for
and then
sure.
basketball.
I don't
Below
like
that
too
is
much of
anything X Games I'm into. Anything
I
Travis
like that
Pastrana.
stuff.
Okay, yeah,
that's
that's your
that's
stuff.
my
But there's
next
but
thing.
I feel like it's so hard to follow as far who's the best.
I
and
don't
this and
like
that,
traditional
you know?
athletes. I like guys that, and I know your counter to this is going to be you did that too. But I like guys that fucking just do it because they put their life on the line trying to master a backflip. Probably working at fucking McDonald's on a dirt bike that they're still making payments on, and because they love it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then they finally make it to that next level. Where
my buddy.
there's a lot of maybe baseball play. You know, like even
It's just
Frazier.
yeah.
Love Frazier, but he was kind of groomed his whole life
For sure.
to be a baseball player.
and it's like my buddy
It's the
that
same thing though to me.
my buddy that played
Maybe.
NFL, he was almost like he went to the combine twice. He got hurt one time. The other time he just didn't make it. But he was right there in college, like the NFL level. A lot of the guys that he played with went to the NFL. So this was his lived and died football since he was a kid. His dad played football, Pop Warner, all that nonsense. He said that he went to one of his buddies' weddings who was in the league, and he's like, he's sitting at the table with all these guys that are in the league, and he's like, it's just a game to him. They don't give one fuck. They're getting paid anyway. They have to put up certain amount of numbers.
Yep.
Yeah, you want to win a Super Bowl to have that ring and to have
But
that.
okay,
it's like-
that's that guy. But I bet you Tom Brady, when he walks into fucking
For sure.
training camp, that motherfucker wants
For
to win.
sure. He wants
you know,
to win.
And the best guys want to win. That's
But
just
again,
what it is.
I don't know
Whatever
if it's
sport it is,
just
the best guys
game
want
of
to win.
football, or
I know
they
what
just
you-
want to win.
You were
You know,
gonna say you think it's the same thing because you put the hard work in, you
As
put the
f-
dedication
yeah,
in.
yeah,
But I think the difference is, and you said it the other day, guys trying to pull a backflip, like you can legitimately die very easy. I don't think you have quite the risk factor of dying. Or Todd had that when he was playing in the minors.
No.
Guys are doing shit in the X Games where like fucking it's I mean like
crazy shit.
the possibility of dying or seriously injuring yourself. I mean, there's been guys that have died in this
I'm
game.
sure.
The brother,
I'm sure.
what's his name? Pulled the backflip on the snowmobile. I can't think of his name.
backflip on a snowmobile.
On a snowmobile, caught the front skis. I feel bad. I can't think of his name, but anyway, he didn't die on the scene. He died in the hospital later. But amazing athlete. I mean, that's just next level.
But you see, I mean, you ride bikes. You've rode for years. You could there's something fucking that fast. You just
yeah.
You know, that's crazy.
And I'm not knocking other athletes at all.
No, I feel
Just
like you
to
have a lot
me,
less
that
control in
level
those type of sports.
You know, that it's just that much more exciting to me. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
right. Because you really have once you get off that ramp,
Caleb Moore.
Caleb
Caleb Moore, I think is his name.
Caleb Moore.
I think that's his name. Caleb Moore.
Do people die often in that
Not
in that
often,
sport?
no.
So
They make
it's-
it as safe as they can, as they do, because listen, they would shut it down if everybody was just dying left and right.
Yeah.
But I mean, dudes get fucked up, bro. I mean, you if you don't nail a backflip or there's guys out there now. Corey Hart was the first guy. It's a very debatable topic in that world. Pink's husband, Carey Hart, rather.
Carey, he's a bicyclist, right?
No, he started out on dirt bike.
Oh, I thought he was more of
motocross.
a BMX guy.
No, he
Is
doesn't.
he the first
doesn't-
backflip?
He was the first backflip, but it's debatable. A lot of people say he didn't land it. He says he landed it. He landed kind of I forget, but it wasn't. I think they say you're supposed to ride away. He landed on his wheels, but then dumped it. I think that was the deal.
Right.
So a lot of people don't give him credit. But then Travis Pastrana comes in.
Who was the guy that did it that we saw?
Travis Pastrana?
Steve X Games
pulled a
Started with an
double backflip, bro.
No, that's we saw the first double backflip.
Travis Pastrana was
No.
the first double backflip. Yes,
No.
he was.
No, we saw in Philly. Remember? Yeah. No, it was X Games. This guy pulled the double backflip. It was your son was with us, Sebastian, who we actually talked about before.
Travis is definitely the first guy to ever do it. Definitely. Maybe this guy did it right after Travis. Pastrana.
Okay. I mean,
Travis Pastrana is probably my favorite athlete of all time ever.
He's still at it,
bro. And he does a lot of his shit in Panama because you get away with shit. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Jay Murren pulled the first double. Wait, into a foam pit or
was it in Philly, in Philadelphia? To say X Games.
Maybe I could be wrong.
What year was that? 2004, 2003.
Frankie?
3.
Damn,
look at me, bro. Come on.
What was his name? I never.
What are they
heard of him.
doing now, bro? What?
No, that's BMX. You dipshit.
BMX. Yeah,
no, dirt bike. That's BMX.
Hope you get fucked
Messina,
by an
remember that
alien
guy?
tonight.
You know what I'm talking about? Whatever. But I'm with you.
No, dirt bike. I bet you're gonna find it's Pastrana. I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong on that.
And what are they doing now? It's probably got just
bro,
crazy.
I mean,
insane,
nobody's
right?
pulled a triple, but
Metzger.
Yeah, but that was just because Travis Pastrana.
Mike Metzger's Metal
He was
Militia.
at first, but I know at the X Games, Travis. Yeah, but wait, was it Travis? Travis wasn't there.
No, I don't remember. I mean, I don't know. I just remember that guy. I remember being in awe watching this dude.
Speaking of Mira, I mean, what an exceptional athlete. And then,
That was Mira's the one with Pink or no?
no, that's Carrie Hart.
Right.
But
They're not together no
Mira
more.
is an incredible athlete who maybe a year
He
ago,
died.
maybe
He
2
died.
killed himself.
Yeah.
committed
Did he
suicide.
really?
You think head trauma, though, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Sad, huh?
He said he had everything going for him. I think he'd placed the most golds ever in X Games.
Ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure, yeah.
You never know people going
Who's the
to
redhead?
Sean White.
Sean White.
Well, one is Winter X and one is Summer X.
Oh,
But
okay,
maybe
different, yeah.
Sean White possibly. I don't know.
Well, Sean White won it for the skateboarding
He's Winter X. He did? Did he really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He won the half pipe.
That was his big thing, right?
I thought his
Won
big
both.
thing was snowboarding.
Snowboard,
No, but-
half pipe, and skateboarding.
Yeah,
he
that was how
like
he
a
made his name. Was
two-sport
he did
guy.
both of them.
Right.
Speaking of BMX, that kid Scotty Kramer.
Oh,
Yeah,
Scott,
he's from Jackson.
I talked to Scotty's wife. Scotty's going to come on. They're in Florida. I spoke to Lisa the other day.
Jackson boy, right?
Yeah, bro. What a great story Scotty Kramer has. What a comeback story. I mean, he's not fully back yet, but massive brain trauma. Like, I went to see him in the hospital. I didn't even know him. Hadn't met him, but I'd always heard about him. Have a lot of mutual friends. And I went and visited him, bro. And literally, they just took the front of his head off. Like, off. It was off.
Still?
No.
What, to relieve the pressure or something?
And then when he left the hospital, he had this massive concave, like, divot in his head. It was like half of his head. You looked at him from the side, you could look right through, like, the front.
What happened?
He went to Vegas. I think he was shooting a Vans promo video for Vans shoes, I think. I might have that wrong. And they went to Vegas, and they were staying at a Vegas hotel, and they just went to one of those empty lots, and they were just practice riding, just fucking around a lot. And he did some pretty basic, simple move and came down, front tire went into a sinkhole. He went over the bars and just straight concrete to the head. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, man.
He was. I visited him in the hospital, man. He was in bad shape, but they're in Florida now. He's not fully recovered, but he's pretty good. I know he's back on a bike, but he's
because you got to
the
think
nicest
how many
kid
times.
ever.
How many times do you mess up trying a trick before
Right.
you get it?
Right.
So I mean that's the time. Like in a fight, you get hurt in a fight very rarely. You get hurt in training because you're fist fighting every day,
right.
and you know that's got to be like that. You know, just the practice end of it.
Yeah.
There's got to be a lot. Do those guys cross train? Otherwise, are they like a strength and conditioning?
I imagine they are now.
Or
I
they're
would
just
think most of them at this point to be the best now.
Now,
you
it's
have
money,
to,
hey, if there's
right? I
money
mean, that's the
involved, they're
edge.
doing whatever they can do to
Right,
fucking
right.
capitalize.
for sure.
yeah,
For sure.
But he holds a lot of. I think he either beat or tied Dave Mirra. I think if I remember right. But yeah, just a sick rider,
Wow.
and just an all around good guy, the most humble, nicest guy you'll ever meet. But
Right.
yeah, well, I definitely want to have him. Man.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
love
she
to.
said they'll be up here end of the summer. So
Cool.
yeah, his wife's a sweetheart, stuck by his side through the whole fucking thing, never left his side. His whole family's just good people.
Damn.
Yeah.
I think it's all part of it, right?
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think you know what you sign up for when you.
They make good money, those guys, at the highest level?
At the
I think
highest
so,
level,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's pretty good. You got a limited amount. I mean, you make good money. You have a limited amount of fame. You could probably still go to the grocery store without getting mobbed. You know, like how many people know?
I think that you make a lot of your income from sponsorships and stuff like that. Too.
Right.
Like I
Oh
saw
yeah,
hand
big time,
shoes
much
and-
more. They're like NASCAR, man. They got shit all over them.
Right.
Like the UFC fighters. We gotta get Frankie in the outfit, right? We're gonna need Frankie in the outfit.
Yes, yeah. Frankie got to be in the outfit.
Take his pants off.
You have to.
You got
Just don't take them off. Just put them down to your ankles. Just so they,
No,
just so
fuck outta here.
people know, just so
outta here. I'm
people
done.
know it might be
I'm
underneath.
done. I did the outfit once. It's over. It's over. I honored the bet, motherfuckers. All right,
I love it. Well, guys, thank you for having me.
Hey,
Yeah,
man, fucking blast. Always good to
Good
have
times,
you.
good
We're gonna do
times.
this again. You're gonna be a resident.
Yeah,
on
sure.
the,
We're gonna have Steve on too. A guy that you guys heard his name, but you didn't see him yet. We're gonna have Steve on one of these days too. Champ and the Tramp, guys. Like, share, subscribe.
Steve makes me feel tall, so we're gonna have him on.
Right. Frankie Tall and Roger Young.
Yeah.